Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I am David Sponheim, and this is Wasteful Wednesday. Good evening. Wow, what a great beginning pre-show we did, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We have to clean up the room now because somebody's been posting our address on the worst chat boards ever, a group called 4chan, which allows homosexual men to harass us in our room. And I did everything I could to prevent that from happening tonight, and I think I did a pretty good job. You see, these guys are so desperate for something in their life that they virtually are meeting behind public restrooms for cheap sex. And it really belies a deeper message of how completely debased and almost perverted our culture has become. Now, I'm not blaming anyone for being debased or perverted right now. I'm not naming and blaming. I'm telling you that you can't help it. You're probably eating beef byproducts with hormones in them that make you feel like you want to have sex with other men or something. There's pheromones in the atmosphere. Maybe they're spraying it on us with chemtrails. Well, what they are doing, folks, and we don't really know what they're doing, is they are dumping industrial waste in the atmosphere. And we've been seeing a massive amount of this for some time. And I can tell you that if you don't recognize that you're being poisoned, I don't think anything is more important than knowing that you're being poisoned. All right? So I'm here to talk about the massive amount of industrial waste they're dumping on you. Here we go. This is a video that's going to play, and it's going to show you exactly what's going on. If you don't see it on a daily basis, it's because you've been programmed by watching television. You actually see these chemtrails in the skies in the movies, and you don't really care. So when they did post this in some sort of a gay forum, that's the most disturbing thing ever. But you can imagine what they'll do to try to derail this great effort we're putting together. Now, we're making people aware of this massive spraying of chemicals in the atmosphere. So I have a time-lapse video to show you of the spraying that's going on right now all around the world, not just here. And if you don't want to see this, you can turn it off, but it's pretty good information just to look at. Okay, so this is a non-stop spray job of the atmosphere, and people like the director of the CIA, John O'Brien, actually said this is what they're going to be doing in the future too. Listen to this. No, these are chemtrails.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly.
Okay, that's the magic word. That's the director of the CIA, an absolute moron, who's mouthing the words of the elitists who've been following junk science, that they believe somehow that all these chemicals that they're spraying in the atmosphere that's going in your lungs and in your brain is somehow safe, and it's only going to cost $10 billion a year. $10 billion a year. And they think that's okay, to dump chemicals in the air. They're using a brand new type of chemtrail called, it's an aerosol chemtrail that blows out rapidly once it comes out of the nozzle. They're using this nozzle aerosol chemtrail in order to spread it out as fast as possible. And guess what aerosols do? They get rid of the ozone. They eliminate the most valuable thing we have protecting the earth. So they're rapidly trying to kill off the planet. And they're getting away with it. Now, you heard John O'Brien say this is the SAI program that they're putting together. This is what they're doing right now. He's just talking about it after the fact, as though we're supposed to just sit there and accept this. So the reason why a lot of you young men are having weird thoughts about other young men is because you're being dumped on with pheromones. They're actually creating the homosexuality in our society. They're also doing a lot of things. They're making all of your aggressive tendencies go away. And I'm going to show you one particular interview 10 years ago from the Pentagon, a completely sealed interview that was made public. Somebody got this leaked Pentagon video. Watch what they're doing. They're putting aerosol vaccines in the atmosphere.
Excuse me, on the left over here, we have individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics. And this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene.
Okay, so they're willing to put a VMAT2 gene in an aerosol form, which makes you very docile and makes you turn into kind of like, walking, talking Richard Simmons. Okay, everybody! So if you're wondering why you have all these homosexual urges, that's the reason, okay? Just want you to know that they're dousing you with these chemicals. They're putting it in your diet. Seriously. Now, if you're not aware of it, you're not aware of the fact that the soybean population is mostly genetically modified. That too produces esters in the men, and most of the men's testosterone has declined by 45% over the past 5 years. Most of us are being neutralized and sterilized. So that's why a lot of you people are just completely obsessed with gay sex, in case you were wondering. And I wanted to be the first to make you aware of this, because, I've got videos proving that this is going on, even from the Pentagon, that they don't want you to know. But they're willing to spray anything they want on you, in you, and turn you into a mental midget. Now that's a reality that nobody in the mainstream media will even discuss. So that's a big, big problem. So if you're wondering why you're having all these homosexual urges, a lot of you guys, I don't know what's going on with the women, but that's what's happening, okay? So just so you know. It's not you wanting guys, it's you being trained like a lab rat to want homosexuality. Because with homosexuality, they have a greater goal. They want to convert you into a sterilized eunuch who has no interest in having children, because their primary agenda is depopulation. They don't want you to have sex with a woman. That would lead to a baby. All right, so now that you understand what's going on, now let me explain to you what else is going on with these chemicals that they're spraying in the sky. All right? They are dumping so many chemicals in the sky. I've got a link here from geoengineeringwatch.org showing NASA satellite imaging revealing shocking proof of climate engineering. You can see the pattern right over the entire ocean, right there in this picture. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, this photo images shown below were captured from NASA satellite sources, and they are truly alarming. They provide shocking and undeniable proof of the ongoing global climate engineering, geoengineering, solar radiation management assault on our planet and its life support systems. Highly toxic heavy metals and chemicals that are systematically sprayed into the atmosphere from jet aircraft as part of the geoengineering program. All right? Now, I don't want to freak you out, but I will give you a link to that site. It's very good. You can get more information. I know your esters are increasing. So this is not a conspiracy show. This is what they're doing with industrial waste. Okay. Okay, thanks, IORG, I guess. They're doing this with industrial waste, and they have ulterior motives. Remember Hurricane Sandy that killed 100 people? Well, it's happening again. Hurricane Sandy happened right before the 2012 election. And they've got another one now, the only other hurricane in history to make a left turn into prevailing winds. Coastal warnings, 5-day forecasts for the storm center, Hurricane Matthew. Now, you're saying, well, what does this have to do with chemicals blowing in the wind? Well, These chemicals that they're dropping on the sky are manipulated using phased array radar. And whatever, you can be gay or you can be not gay, it doesn't matter to me. But they are dumping all kinds of esters in your bloodstream through the food, through the air, and that's why a lot of you guys are confused. You're just plain old confused. I understand, simply because I've been looking at this problem from a big perspective, and I can tell you it's extremely disturbing to see so many men in our society plopping in here looking for cheap sex with other men, and I had to address it. All right, now, they're using the chemicals to manipulate the atmosphere and create hurricanes. This hurricane has already killed 11 people. Google News is reporting that Hurricane Matthew, let me move my chemtrail pictures here, has left 11 dead in its destructive march toward the United States. They're boarding up windows and doors in Florida. And IORG has a picture of some of the canisters they're using to deploy these chemicals, and here it is. You're looking at one of the many pictures we have. And if you guys don't admit the chemicals are being dumped on you like insects, you don't even understand the purpose of a third party. Now, there's been another reveal, a major reveal, that is extremely upsetting, and that is that our government was just found paying nearly $500 million to a PR agency to fake ISIS. And I'm going to show you a picture that embodies what I'm talking about here. Okay. Here we go. A media silence has been put over a fact that just came out recently, that the Pentagon was caught paying a PR firm $540 million to make fake terrorist videos. That's a serious story that never made it to the mainstream media. We've got numerous stories about that. Kim Kardashian is the big story in the media. Held at gunpoint in Paris for $12 million worth of jewelry, and now they're saying it's an inside job. So we're not talking about the thing at the bottom. We're talking about the thing at the top. Therein lies the problem with our mass media, which is controlled and operated by the elitists. They don't want us to think. They see us as a bunch of dumb, stupid, useless eaters. So naturally they want to spray us with chemicals, and they don't give a crap about what's going to happen as a result of those chemicals going through our blood and into our brain. Thanks, Al. So they've even got people in our chat room right now who are making every effort to stop us. We've been censored on the very network we're broadcasting on Vaughn. They've got this VIP capacity server thing they deploy to keep people from getting in here. Many of you have been trying to get into our show and to try to talk. If you're in the Asian continent, you probably are not going to be able to get in here because they're being completely censoring all access to this server. So you're having numerous problems trying to get in and try to type and talk about things that are real. You won't get any of this stuff anywhere unless you actually look for it. They even put it inside the coaches of these planes. You know, you've got pictures of this stuff, which is, exemplary of a real concerted plan that's been going on for years to dump chemicals on us. So you can't deny it anymore. You contrail people who's just, that's just condensation. That's condensation. We're not going to the moon. We never went to the moon. I got some bad news for you folks. They're lying to you big time. You grew up in a world of lies. And if you can't handle the truth, you just can't handle the facts right before your very eyes. I got more pictures of these things. There's all kinds of pictures of these canisters that are inside of the jets because some of these people who fly these planes have a camera. And the elitists don't know what to do about that. We told all the chemtrail pilots that they can't have cameras, and they're sneaking this out on their cell phone cameras. I don't understand it. But yeah, there you have it. Canisters are all linked. They're land links local area network links. Every canister deploys at a certain time based on a computer. No, you're a complete idiot if you don't know that they're spraying you like an insect. Nothing has been debunked. No, you're full of crap. None of this has been debunked. They are doing a major mind screw job on you if you think this has been debunked. You're looking at it right now. It's playing nonstop in this Wasteful Wednesday show. Condensation is absolutely harmless if it has no chemicals in it. This stuff is dangerous. You're breathing it. I've got a copy of a NASA official from the Goddard Space Institute who will say categorically what you people are denying. That's how completely above board we are about this. We'll play you a NASA official talking about the chemicals that they're spraying on your head. They think it's common knowledge. They think we all know about it. We don't talk about urban humor here. Look at the hormones that your brother is inducing, maybe he's eating GMO soy milk, and your brother's walking around the house going, I don't know why my voice is so high. Well, it's because your brother is drinking GMO soy milk, which not only sterilizes him, but also it has esters in it, which give him that high voice. So your brother's completely lost. Let me play you that NASA official for you. Here we go. It won't take long. You'll hear him talk about
it. Right. There was lithium dispersed, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details that you need.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use, and different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight. We take pictures, and we can see how the wind trail moves around.
There you go. You just heard a NASA space scientist talk about it. All right, there you go. Election's weeks away. Can't wait for your landslide victory. Thanks, Time Pilot. Well, everybody's getting the word out. We're telling a lot of people that to write my name in, David Sponheim. The only way we're going to get our country back, not through the corrupt means of the elitists, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, who will simply do the bidding of the rich and famous. They don't give a crap about you. Neither one of them has $400 per month per U.S. adult citizen offered as one of the major perks of getting me elected. So I will put this together. We will also, in the process of get rid of welfare, and we'll be able to get rid of all of the wasteful money going into the non-U.S. citizens' pockets when they get Section 8 housing and food stamps. So this eliminates non-U.S. citizens getting any money. It also eliminates welfare. All right. All right, there we have it. So many of you are taking your guest chat for granted. I'm going to go to guest off for a second just to show you I have the power to pull off your ridiculous statements. Many of you have no idea what you're doing, and I'm trying to help you be real here. All right. We're also under a constant deluge of these pathetically perverted homosexual men who are trying to hook up behind the bathroom in their local public park, which is really weird. It's a tactic the CIA deployed when they put this stuff in various chat shows. They're trying to stop us. They're using every means possible, so they want to shut down guest chat. And they're trying to do it by bringing in all these hordes of perverts that come in here and try to exchange their emails. So we've been cleaning house for the past hour and 21 minutes. I did a pretty good job earlier of getting them out of our show by convincing them of the incredibly messed up problem that they're facing with their homosexual life, assuming they're not in New Jersey or California, which it's not legal for me to actually convince them that straight is better. All right, here we go. Here's a FedEx plane. FedEx plane caught chemtrailing in Southern California today. Right there, chemtrail shot in HD, folks. That
Today
is
is October 5th, 2016. A plane chemtrailing above my house.
wow. That's intense, man. They're just dumping it right on top of people, hosing you down, man. That was today over California, Fullerton. Wow. Michael Savage is a functional idiot. Michael Savage is so stupid he doesn't even realize he's a shill. He said something that got him taken off a network the other day. Michael Savage is a hardcore right-wing extremist who has no clue as to what they're doing. Look, if you can't jump off the ledge of being status quo, Mr. Average, Mr. Accepting of everything, if you can't begin to look at things in a different way, you'll never know what the hell's going on. I'm trying to give you guys a chance to step out of the box a little bit and realize you're being poisoned every day. It's the slow kill of our country. Our nation is under attack, and our leaders are so brain dead and corrupt and greedy that they don't even know it. This is what your sky looked like today? Yeah. They're trying to dehydrate California, and they're pushing this goal to make California the weakest nation in the country, not the strongest, or the weakest state in the country, not the strongest. California as a state is the biggest economy in our nation. And they're trying to just dehydrate it to kill off a really vibrant agricultural opportunity, drop real estate values, which is their goal, so they can buy up the water rights of California. And this isn't something new. This has actually been going on in Africa. The elitists have been doing the same dehydration plan in Africa using chemtrails. They purposely create the Gobi Desert to be completely dry. They purposely go out of their way to displace people so they can have power over these countries. They're using this technique to gain greater control over all national governments around the world while they push their global world agenda. Now, if you are a flat earther, you're a complete idiot. We're going to ask you to shut up, bag it, because that also is a psyops the government's putting out to turn you into a brain-dead idiot. The first thing you say to your friends is, yeah, man, the Earth's flat. And then they'll think you're a complete brain-dead idiot. It's designed to make you, disenfranchise you from everybody around you, to look at you like you're like a freak or a whack job. Now, it's bad enough they're putting chemicals in the atmosphere, but they're putting those chemtrail videos and those sites together, the government is, right next to the flat Earth sites. So they fuse these things. They have the chemtrail videos, chemtrail pictures, and then the flat Earth and the reptilians next to it. So you automatically think that reptilians and flat earthers are also believe that chemtrails exist. That's why all you brain dead idiots come in here and say, these are just contrails, dude. Yeah, it's like, what the hell, man? So they want you to be a brain dead idiot. They want your friends to think you're brain dead idiots. So just drop flat Earth crap. Thank you. Yeah, so this is what they're doing to California. Thank you very much. That's a really good description of the dehydration going on. So they're purposely attacking our country slowly by chemically inducing it, and our government officials are sitting there like retards going, oh no, they're just using contrails, it's perfectly safe. Yeah, so all of you have been caught up in the the elixir of stupidity, which they're putting out in mass ways. Propaganda, pollution, everything you're breathing is probably dropping your brain activity to a subpar intelligence. So I'm recommending you eat a lot of antioxidants, like blueberries, coffee. You drink coffee, that'll help it protect your brain. Live in a recreational marijuana state. That puts a kind of a glaze over your brain cells, protecting them from the attack. It's a known fact that marijuana, or the cannabinoids in it, actually prevent brain cancer and reduce the size of brain tumors. Isn't that amazing? And of course they don't want to legalize marijuana. Neither Hillary or Donald want to do that. And that's a big plan for us. We really believe that legalizing marijuana on a recreational basis will help this country immensely, both economically. We've seen it happen in Colorado and Washington and other states, but also medicinally, getting people the right kind of self-medication that will help them without having to rely on big pharma and all of their corruption. So legalization is a big part of our plan, and it's a plan that I think will help the country grow economically as well. So you've got a lot of reasons to get behind this third party. You really do. Like I said, Donald and Hillary will never, ever legalize. Donald and Hillary will never get us out of foreign wars because they are basically powered up by the machine of the global elitists who want to continue to power up our country and make it the 9/11 police force around the world. All right. Time Pilot and Ticking Time Bags are together, in the room together. So they'll do anything they can to divert your attention from the facts, and if they want to create a war in ISIS and do it using a PR firm paying $540 million, the Pentagon would rather you talk about Kim Kardashian. The last thing they want to do is talk about the Pentagon, media slime. So they'd much rather we talked about Kim Kardashian and transgenderism. These are the kind of ways the media shapes the talking points, so we never find out about what's really happening. What day are we going to do the Halloween show? Well, it comes on October 31st. That's the day of reckoning. And people will already have their ballots in the mail, but I'll be doing an impersonation of the real Donald Rump. Yeah. How he really is. I'm okay, yeah. Sarah's going as Princess Leia. Be kind of a fun show. Okay. Mike Pence made a comment yesterday in the debates that Trump never said something. Trump said so many things that put his foot in his mouth, it's ridiculous. But Mike Pence said Trump never said that. Well, he did. Let's find out what he said. Virginia Senator Tim Kaine clearly came into last night's vice presidential debate with the goal of making Indiana Governor Mike Pence answer for Donald Trump's most controversial statements and policy positions. But Pence resisted taking the bait. Kaine repeatedly quoted Trump's own words. Pence either ignored him and mocked him. He tried a Jedi mind trick reversal or flatly denied the quotes were real. And maybe that was Kaine's real goal. The Clinton campaign is already out with a video. These 11 examples are not exhaustive, but they give you a good sense of a dynamic that dominated the debate. Kaine's claim that Donald Trump built his empire on the backs of the little guy. In the words of one of his own campaign staffers, off the backs of the little guy. Pence's response was didn't defend Trump or respond directly. First turning the insult-driven line against Kaine before changing the subject. The reality is Trump's current campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, previously worked for Texas Senator Ted Cruz's campaign. In that capacity more than once, said Trump built his business on the backs of the little guy. Yeah? Trump says that Putin is a great leader, Kaine's claim. It must have hit a nerve here because of the time of great challenge in the life of this nation. We're a weakened nation placed in the state staff with blah, 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 in case Pence didn't respond and accused Kane of more insults. The reality is, in fact, Trump has repeatedly praised the Russian president. The man has a strong control over a country. Now it's a very different system, and I don't happen to like the system, it says, but certainly in that system he's been a leader, far more than our president has been a leader. Eliminating minimum wage, Kane's claim. Pence's response, mocked Kane, denied it. As for Kane's claim about Trump and Pence's position on the minimum wage, it's half true. Trump has held multiple positions on the minimum wage. Anyway, the debate was a joke. Sarah did better than they did. I have done blackface. I would do it again if I wanted to. I would gladly do a blackface again if Donald Trump loses this election and Hillary gets elected. Absolutely. And Hillary continues to talk about Obama in a favorable way. I could probably do it again. I don't think doing a blackface of anybody at this point is that important, because most of my effort has been censored. We've been censored on so many different levels that it's not even funny. We've been living in a world of censorship. And because of that, we have a lot of people who just dislike the message that I put out. So we have to ban people in our show. It's too bad. I could go as a bitch. How would that look, you know? I was thinking of Halloween doing something like half Hillary and half Donald, but I thought then they'd accuse me of being a transgender or something. Do orange face. I'm just going to go in as a version of Trump that is not favorable. Let's just put it that way. It'll be bizarre. I'm known for my bizarre Halloween experiences. Well, Time Pilot, I'll be surprised too if I'm not even elected. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't surprise me I've been censored by all the media in America. But we're growing word-of-mouth phenomenon around the world. I think the clown crazies going around is government operation. I believe it's a government psyops. They're trying to freak people out, create a pre-apocalyptic world. And our government's been doing everything they can to foment differences between the races. Every single time you hear about a racial conflict over police brutality, you wonder, are the police being told to be brutal? And is the media making a big deal about it to foment violence and create rioting? And why is George Soros funding all the rioters at all these events? Well, all of this is true. George Soros is funding the paid rioters. The Democrats love racial conflict. And they love to call me a racist for simply impersonating a black president. And I ask you, how could I have impersonated a black president in whiteface? So everything about the Democrats is shut down your freedom of speech. But now everything about the Republicans is shut down your freedom of speech. Donald Trump is on record saying that if anyone criticizes him in the media, he'll create laws against that. He doesn't even understand that presidents don't create laws. He's that out of it. He doesn't even realize the role of the executive branch. Donald Trump has no idea of what our Constitution is. He wants to ID Muslims and deport them, even if they're U.S. citizens. I mean, this guy is completely lost. He wants to treat them separately than everyone else. It violates their freedom of religion, their First Amendment, and it also violates the equal protection of the law, the 14th Amendment. The guy is completely unraveling. Well, you guys are helping get the word out. God. You're trying to do everything you can through word of mouth, and that's making a difference. Because these people, they can't monitor what you say to your family. You can't tell people in China, you hear about David Sponheim, he's censored in America. Oh, really? They don't know what you're doing. You can talk about me privately to your family, and nobody knows that. So they can't even figure out how fast the word of mouth is spreading about me around the world. I'm growing faster around the world than I am in America because of the censorship. And both candidates are the worst we've ever had. So yeah, with me, you get 8 years of solid performance, transparency every night, 4 to 5 hours a night on screen, and then we do a video show 5 hours into the evening where I chat with you guys. And I've been doing this for 8 years. Nobody even gets close to this. I remember Gary Johnson did about 3 or 4 times in front of a live audience or a town hall meeting online or something, and that was it. Obama did that one town hall meeting online in which the big question was, do you think legalization of marijuana will help our economy? And he went out there and made a fool of himself. Well, make no mistake about it. If we legalize marijuana, we will. It won't help the economy. Of course, it will. It'll help the economy immensely. This man is a stammering, bumbling idiot who could never, ever speak without a teleprompter and a speechwriter.
If we fall for, a bunch of sounds provocative, tweets, funny, sounds provocative, tweets, funny, sounds provocative, tweets, funny, sounds provocative,
Pocahontas.
Bing, bing. No, she's got this goofy friend. She's a basket case. Oh, boy. Goofus.
All right, so Nubius, who actually lives in our local area, and we met him at a couple of gatherings, he is very concerned about the $400 a month per U.S. adult citizen. He would much rather have it invested in our local economy. Well, I am investing in our local economy by giving everybody in our local economy all around America in our local economies $400 a month per U.S. citizen. I mean, there's no better way to help your local economy than to give people cash. Seriously, think about it. Your local economy is going to be booming. Even JCPenney will keep their doors open with the $400 a month per U.S. citizen. You'll be able to buy food that you would normally not buy at your markets. You're going to be able to buy clothing that you would normally not buy because you're cutting back. We know America is tightening their purse strings. That's why the $400 a month is designed to help your local economies. And it's not going to have any barriers. We're not going to tell people you can't do this because you don't have enough income or you have too much income. Anybody, even Wall Street executives, can get the $400 per month, and we won't have a bureaucracy to check on it. There won't be 6-month checkups on this money. No, you're going to see it. People use it all over the place. So the reality is our country is struggling big time. And the government hasn't done anything to help bolster the job market in America. We've got all these companies still outsourcing. You've got a very, very stagnant retail economy. It's horrible. Christmas is like a death knell for retail. It used to be the saving grace. Now it's like how many Friday sales can they afford to put out because they're losing money on these Friday sales. They put out, we've seen TVs selling for below wholesale just to get people in the door. Yes, thank you. I will. Sarah's here to talk to you. This is Sarah, and she's my vice presidential choice for the upcoming election, and she did great last night in the debate against the other two candidates. She was outstanding.
When I was in 2008, like so many years ago. Oh, last night. Yes, last night, well, I did my own presidential debate. I just listened to the questions and responded to them as if I were as if I were invited to the debates. And if anyone wants to check out that video, it's at youtube.com/AmericasThirdParty from last night, October 4th, 2016. That's good. I agree, catch LOL. I could have been a better moderator as well as a better debater than either of them. Okay. Oh well. It happens. I actually liked the questions. I thought they were well written. So it brought up a lot of things. Hello, Time Pilot. Do you remember JCPenney's or JCPenney's? Yes, I do remember JCPenney's. In fact, for much of my childhood, I lived near a mall. And the biggest store in the mall at the time was JCPenney's. About halfway through my living there, then they renovated. Oh, how it was spelled? It was spelled E-S. E-Y. I mean, it was spelled JC, and then big J, small c, and then P. I thought it was a big P, and then E-N-N-E-Y-S. E-Y-S. Thank you, Time Pilot. Awesome. Good evening, everyone. Do you have my permission to clone me? Yes! Go ahead. You can clone me. As long as, yes, actually, I'm just going to say yes. I'm not going to put any caveats on it. I will say you can clone me. I'd love to meet my clone someday. Awesome. Have you seen the movie? Was it called The Island? I think it was called The Island. That brought up some ethical cloning issues. Sarah, can you tell us about chemtrails? Well, chemicals that trail behind jets. Chemtrails. Actually, it's JCPENNEY. No S. JCPenney. And you can check it out at jcpenney.com. Shall I give you the link? Sarah, can you buy me lunch? Can I buy you lunch? Maybe. As long as you're inviting David as well as me, how about that? There is a caveat there. Just me? No. David and myself? Sure. Oh. Here's JCPenney, by the way. Oh, I guess I should have put in HTTP in front of it. Put a Band-Aid on it and put pressure on it, Jar Jar, so that it will clot. There is another E. I'm priceless 964, so you're never going to get that. All right, what was I doing? I was going to open up YouTube and see the cool things happening there. I don't know, 451, can you? You'll have to check. Oh, haha. And then I'll have to buy David's. So we might as well just go Dutch. Hi. Nope. I'm much more valuable than that 964. You're spending, actually, I will say this, or you can think of me as more affordable than that, because you're spending, nearly an hour with me every single night for free, virtually. I'm saying right now, this is you and I spending time together. That's what I'm saying. All right. You don't really want to do that. I don't believe that 964. It's a great fantasy. You can think about it, but it's not going to happen. So just so you know. Whoa. I'm not going to give you my number. Especially that number. Jar Jar, what do you think I am? Like a... Oh, it's J.C.Penny, by the way. Like a... I don't know, an idiot. Well, it means what it means, 451. David posted that IQ test on the website, or maybe he posted it on davidsponheim.com. But either way, you can research it and figure out what it means. Maybe you're smart enough. I've never had my IQ tested. Nope, never. But however, I did get a scholarship from Mensa. So does that make me smarter than Mensa people? Because I let them give me money rather than I haven't given them any money? I'm not giving you any of those numbers, Jar Jar. It's ridiculous for you to ask for those. Is that what you do in every chat room? And you find some 18-year-old that's not intelligent and gives you all that information? I'd rather not say Kool-Aid. Let's say that. You can think what you want of me. Pull yourself together. I do have a PayPal, but I'm not going to be taking money from you. 964. Yeah, I know. You want the swimsuit calendar. Do you mind if the pictures are a couple of years old? One plus one equals 2. I don't think so, 127. Well, 451, I think he released everything. Okay, the mob, how are you? How's life been for you? Seems like it's been a while since you and I have actually chatted. Didn't we used to chat a lot on Facebook and things like that?
Yes! Did Einstein or Newton do a show 6 nights a week to 2 million people? No, I think not.
Yeah, we chatted a lot on Vaughn. Oh, Vaughn banned your IP. What happened? What, did they give you a reason for banning your IP? To prevent children 650? Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, that's so sweet, Mr. Sniffer. The voice was recorded for quality assured purposes. Oh, they don't like you, so you don't go in as a mob. Okay. I wonder why. Oh well. Well, it's nice to see you. I'm glad you have a place you can chat with us. Oh. Yep. 964. Nothing's wrong with me at all. Or, since you're trying to proposition me, maybe you can think that something is. There you go. No, nothing's wrong with me. Oh, that's interesting, the mom. I don't actually drink wine. You need your weather report. Where are you the Atlanta person? Isn't he belong to Canada, Justin Bieber? Well, good. I'm glad you'll take back your offer. Because whatever it takes to get you off my case, that would be good. Why aren't we friends with everyone in the world? All right. No, I don't ride the barrel or get pitted. I'm not a surfer, dude. Well, why would you say there's flaws in my report? Okay. Well, good for you. Money isn't everything, 964. You might think money... Obviously, you can't buy everything you want. You know? I don't have a price tag on me. I'm priceless. You can't get me. You can't have me. Oh. Why do you have my report then? It's not even my report. It's just a Vaughn chat report. That's so funny. David, the $400 per month does not start unless David is elected president and Congress passes it. Well, in your dreams, you can do that. And I'll think about that. That sounds fine. Well, sure, in my situation, but in your situation too. Yeah, does that work out for you, 64 bits? Do you get a second date from that? All right. But I really would say, no. I'm more about helping mankind, so you can't buy me. That's funny, demoted, but that's one of the reasons David would say he's unbuyable. Do I recommend going in debt to get a degree? No. I don't. I don't recommend going in debt for anything. Oh, that sounds fun too. Thanks. All right. You're giving me all the great ideas, Kool-Aid. All right. What I recommend, instead of going into debt, find a college that you can... I really like the idea of Western Governors University, because Western Governors University, you pay for 6 months. You can take as many credits as... Well, you take one class at a time, so you're not overly stressed out. But you can take as many credits as you can squeeze into that 6 months, one class at a time. I do value education. I don't need to go back to school, but eventually I'd like to go back to school. I graduated magna cum laude with my bachelor's degree, so I definitely value education. I have no idea, Kool-Aid. I have never heard of that before I met David, and I just don't know. Well, it's not money. It's time. 964, I'm using my time in other ways, in ways that I really enjoy. So if right now, all of my time has been allotted, so I don't have extra allotted time. So the school I advise is, they have other ones, but this one is accredited. And here's the website. It's called Western Governors University, and the website is wgu.edu. David is devoted to me and to this and to the future of this campaign. Hello, Time Pilots. Awesome. Thanks, Kool-Aid. I'll take you can soak my feet now. That most online school, I would agree, might be a scam, but this one is not. Thank you, 964. You can always have dreams and fantasies. All right. Is it hard to get a physics degree? Well, I don't have a physics degree, so I wouldn't be the person to ask. The person to ask would be someone that has a physics degree. I would say with anything, you just take it one step at a time. Aw, thanks, Mama June, aka Antique, aka all the other names. Well, 844, I appreciate all the compliments. No, Kool-Aid Anthrax, I have not had that experience. Oh, that's awesome. 819, I'm glad you can do that. Is that I want to say yes, 451, but I think that is code for something else. Oh, hey, Mad Dog, how are you? Oh, goodness. That's hilarious. Do any of your other siblings run for vice president? No, not at this time, 776. 1999? What? When I was young? Aw, thanks, Mad Dog. Yeah, I have set up a tent. Actually, my family, we were down to setting up a tent in 10 minutes. We were that good. But I haven't been camping in a long time. David and I went camping once. Literally one night, not like a camping trip, just one night. Anyway, like tent camping anyway. He would camp otherwise, but he's not a tenter. I don't know. Too small of a tent or something. No, it wasn't in the backyard next to the swim spot. That would not be where David would tent. It was actually overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It was on a big hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean, which is pretty cool. No, I do not support getting rid of pennies. Aw, thanks 851. No, he did not, Mr. Sniffer. I guess it was too cold. I don't know who that is, 776, so I'll take any endorsements I can. No, I said someone can wash my feet. I didn't say the other word. Mr. K. Delta, Delta, Delta. No. We just have spent a lot of time together. Yeah. Don't feed the feet people. Oh, that's hilarious. The feet people. Oh. Not really 523. Well, I don't find feet attractive, I will say that. But I do like to soak my feet. I should soak my feet after a long day. Sarah, should you get a filling if you have a cavity? Yes. What do you talk? What does maybe Mad Dog? Do you take pictures of the feet in your morgue? Yeah, that's true. Some women do put little rings on their feet and put nail polish on their feet. That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. Having a necrophilic foot fetish. That is really weird. Never heard of that.
You're unbanned. Did David unban all or something?
I did a while back, yeah. And then I rebanned a few people.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that you did not do that, Mad Dog. Okay. Alright, I totally fed the feet people. I'm so sorry about that. Let's move on.
Yeah, the feet people are coming out of the woodwork here.
To hair or something like that. Oh, she banned you for asking too many questions. Who were you asking the questions of?
I pay property taxes. I pay sales taxes. I pay excise taxes. So don't say I don't pay any taxes. That's just not accurate. All right. I'm glad the guests have finally calmed down. When I came in here at 5 o'clock, there were nothing but homosexual men looking for a quick hookup because somebody put our name in 4chan, and it's just it's like a real problem. So I had to fight them back, and I tried to scare a lot of people straight, except in New Jersey and California where there are laws against that. So yeah, I think we converted a couple of homosexual men to heterosexual tonight, which is amazing. I don't think anybody's ever been able to pull that off. Yeah, we played a really hot video of this dancing woman to the sounds of music. You notice more web pages you've loaded with chat slows us down? Yeah, I noticed that.
I've never been to that site, 506.
So this was the thing I played earlier, and you didn't see it. They'd rather talk about Kim Kardashian held at gunpoint in Paris $12 million loss in jewelry. You then talk about the Pentagon. They were just caught paying for a PR firm $540 million to make fake terrorist videos. Remember those beheading videos that happened a few years ago, all in a streak? They claimed ISIS did it. It was all paid for by a PR firm. So the government is willing to lie to you about what we're doing around the world and the kind of threats we're facing.
I'm glad you're frequenting sites of things that you like. 848.
Thank you.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Hey, enjoy your pizza. Thanks for bringing it over. I got a piece of it.
Good.
It was good. Yeah, and I also left some spaghetti in there if you want any of it. And some cauliflower. The School of Hard Knocks. Learning about America from the chat room on up. One chat at a time. Yeah, so the Hillary caught using child actor at a Pennsylvania town hall. All these events are Soviet-style setups that the Democrats and Republicans have been doing. Our government's been run by the worst possible people hijacking our government, using it simply as a way to control the world political environment. So our country's been used as a police force around the world. And, yeah, she really was. Thank you. David, hello, welcome. Thanks for coming in. You can use my name, David. It's okay. Yep, so here she is, caught using the child actor. You know, I'm amazed. Let's take a look. Now, this is a professionally edited video, so you don't have to worry about showing children on the screen.
Hey everybody, Spangle Vision here. I just wanted to point out that yesterday, October 4th, during Hillary's town hall meeting in Haverford, Pennsylvania, she's resorted to using child actors to further her narrative. Let me show you. The first 18 minutes of the town hall consisted of Elizabeth Banks kissing Hillary's ass, after which she decides she's going to take questions from the audience. Here you can see the very first question asked, and this is the question that all of the media is picking up.
Hi, Madam Secretary. I'm Brennan, and I'm 15 years old. At my school, body image is a really big issue for girls my age. I see with my own eyes the damage Donald Trump does when he talks about women and how they look. As the first female president, how would you undo some of that damage and help girls understand that they are so much more than just what they look like?
I'd like to thank the Academy. I knew something was up immediately. I googled Brennan Leach and found an IMDb page that referenced a movie called Once Upon a Time, Trillium Vein. The IMDb page credits the production company as NPB Entertainment Group. I googled that, I found their LinkedIn page, and I also found this page which shows the address of the production company, located a mere 31 miles away from the town hall.
Okay, we need a 15-year-old girl to ask Hillary a question, so does anybody have any takers? Oh yeah, the senator has a kid who does some acting. Oh, okay, let's do that. This is the big reveal? This is all they got? I mean, come on. Time for cowbell. That's terrible. When we've got Chris Stevens dead, Hillary did nothing to defend him. The emails were completely lost, a violation of national security. And we're talking about some 15-year-old kid who's paid actor to talk at a meeting, a convention. You know, really. It's like too little too late. And it's like fluff. Let's just fill the stories with fluff tonight. The media silence will be continuing about how they're faking ISIS, how Hillary and Barack created ISIS. And that story got out because Donald heard me talk about it and went ahead and said it himself. And he doesn't even understand it. Donald doesn't even understand that the whole ISIS thing is a put-on, because he himself wants to send our troops into foreign countries like Iran, if you can imagine. But oh no, let's talk about Kim Kardashian and the loss of her jewelry. I think she was in on it, personally. Yeah. What do you think? You think she knew about it in advance? It's all a put on, yeah. Okay, hi. KY Poopy says hi. I say hi. Guest 45 says hi. And we dropped the subject of a foot fetish over at iVlog. Okay. You know, I believe that one person, one bathroom, please. It's a concept. It's not the Baha'i faith. That's one people, one planet, please. It's Dave's faith. Yeah, one person, one bathroom, please. That's all I'm trying to do here. Yeah, we can build bathrooms for one person. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'd like to see Ben Still's new YouTube video, voter fraud, but we've been talking about voter fraud for 6 years now. There's ample evidence to suggest that the Diebold voting system is, in fact, rigged. You know, people have accused me of being African American. The reason why, and I want to get this out in the open right now, is as a kid I got a lot of sun, and I was mostly at the beach.
Just like you pull in, you just get spit right out of them. Spit right out of them. You just drop in, just smack the lip. And after that, you just drop in, drop down. Say bah!
Say bah! Say bah! So yeah, I got the notorious accusations throughout my life of being an albino Negro. Now, don't laugh, please. People have been laughing a lot, and it's hurtful. You can laugh. It's okay. But, you know, we really need to talk about the economy and not my physical appearance. Bah-bah. So we created a book called Hybrid Capitalism, and it is at our website, America's Third Party. And if you haven't read it, don't worry about it. We talk about the things in our show, throughout our show, and every night we discuss things that we have in our book. Blah, blah. Yeah, Doc, what's going on, man? Yeah, I grew up in Redondo Beach. I was born in Santa Monica, California. And I grew up in Huntington Beach. My first real memories were on the beach with my dad, my sister, and being left there on the beach there, Bolsa Chica, when I was 3 years old. And my sister just, ran away, and she hates it when I tell this story. And for that moment in time, I was all alone at 3 years old on the beach, abandoned. And this old lady walked up to me. And she had like purses and weird, bag purse and stuff back in the day. And she went right up to me and she said, "Oh, you're so cute, little boy." And I'm going, ah, freaking out. And that was my first experience at the beach. And then after that, it got a lot better. Being thrown around in the waves, body surfing with my dad in the early 60s. It was incredible. And the California coastline was so beautiful. And it was absolutely the best I could ever remember. And I want to make it better again. I want to clean the radiation out of the ocean. So I came up with a way in which I could clean the radiation out of the ocean by drinking it all and contaminating my liver and then having it removed. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, by going out and stopping the leak of Fukushima radiation that's pouring out into the ocean right now. I'm just telling you, it's a lot of bad waste. Yeah, which day? God, some of these people are speaking in monosyllabic statements like, "I want you." I mean, your brains are being fried. You don't even realize it. Wow. You're just, when you said our brains are being fried, that's pretty funny. Speaking of snorting, what's going on with the Donald Trump claim now that he had a cold? Now, 3 days after the event of snorting, old Sniffles started to now he's telling people that he has a cold. I mean, what a crock of crap. And I even said that he better put a cover story out rather rapidly to cover the massive amount of snorting he did in that last debate, Rest assured, this next debate, he'll be he'll be no snorting allowed. He'll have one of those noise-canceling, snort-canceling mics.
All right, Mr. Trump, you have 2 minutes. How do you heal the divide?
You must be going. I cannot stay. Okay. The sound of a presidential candidate snorting.
How specifically are you going to tell American manufacturers that you have to come back?
Oh, yeah. And check this out. Talk about fear-mongering. And look at this. Trump likes Putin. He's good friends, he says. He knows him.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you. Trump, basically, his bosom buddy friend Putin, is now telling all their citizens to prepare for nuclear war with the West. Fear-mongering. This is what Russia does. This is why we don't need Trump as our president. We don't need fear-mongering. Russia has warned citizens that a nuclear war with the West could be imminent, sparked by clashes in the Middle East. Zvezda, a nationwide TV service run by the country's Ministry of Defense, said last week, schizophrenics from America are sharpening nuclear weapons for Moscow. So there's nothing to worry about there. I just don't embrace this concept of fear. God, it's just all the time like fear-monger. So Trump really likes Putin. And he apparently really wants to, it's almost like a bromance, if you know what I mean. The sniffs of code. You count the sniffs and you get free eggs and ham. That's pretty funny. Well, that's because many of you are supporting Trump because he's a Zionist and wants to protect Israel's control over the world and wants to send us into war in Syria. That's why you like Trump.
We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God, everybody. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion.
So these two candidates, both the sides, are strong Zionists. They both support AIPAC. They both wanted money from AIPAC. Trump went over and did one of these teleprompter speeches with all these people from the American Israeli Political Action Committee sitting there, just saying, well, what are you going to do for me, Mr. Trump? What do we get out of the deal? So, and then Trump obviously promising all these Zionists more action over in Syria, more doing Israel's bidding, more pushing our troops into harm's way for no reason other than Israel feels challenged. But there's something even more disturbing about the new Zionists. Because I respect Israel and I have no problem with Israel as a state, but I won't do their bidding. But the new Zionists want global control. They want a new world order. They believe in global world government. It's been proven year after year, decade, century after century, that there is no way any one group can control the world. Oh, they believe that their massive communication abilities now give them the ability to control the world. Well, in reality, history has proven itself that the nation-state model is here to stay. So not only would we'd be wasting resources helping Israel in some nonsensical world domination scheme, but more realistically, we'd be wasting resources helping the Rothschilds, the very people that run the Zionist global world order. We'd be doing an unbelievable disservice to ourselves because we need to get our country back and preserve our resources. Donald doesn't want to do that. So my big plan is I want to actually end the Fed, just like Ron Paul did. And I have a plan to do it in 1.5 years by building an infrastructure bank parallel to the Federal Reserve. We could have enough loans going out to U.S. businesses hiring U.S. citizens, and we'll be getting our troops back at the same time, and they'll get a chance to work in a U.S. business, or just work for the government because the government can hire U.S. troops, even if you're retired. But bring our troops home and end the Federal Reserve, and build an infrastructure bank of our own. That's a good plan. Trump and Hillary don't have this plan. Trump is turning a blind eye to the Tea Party, which, by the way, won 2 midterm elections for the Republicans. He won't even support Paul Ryan. Trump won't even support his own party. What is he going to do with the American people? He's all ready to throw his own party under the bus while they had to force themselves into giving him the nomination. Here's the most bizarre Hillary video. Let's take a look. Marching to Zion.
As I have gotten older,
Oh, yeah.
I have decided we really need camps for adults. And we need the kind of camps that you all run. I mean,
And then you can RFID everybody, and then you can stick us in the camps. Do you realize that she's openly saying that she wants to put camps in America? You know, that sounds incredibly disturbing to people that are aware that our country has FEMA camps already. Marching to Zion. I mean, they literally want to create a little Israel here. But more importantly, they want to do what Hitler did when he supported the Zionist movement by killing off Jewish people. You didn't realize that the Zionists hate Jewish people? Oh, wow, that's really like a mind blower, isn't it? We got a lot of catching up to do. What do you mean Hitler was against the Zionists? No, Hitler created the environment for the Zionists to have their own nation and displaced the Palestinian people. Whatever. But the bottom line is they're a country. We need to respect them. By the way, on the note of Israel, according to a recent hacked email of you-know-who, yeah, Hillary Clinton, the Libyan government was getting all kinds of the Libyan rebels were actually Al-Qaeda, and they were getting in all kinds of support from our country, and that story hasn't even been talked about. Dave, as a Zionist, why do you hate Jewish people? I am not in any way hateful of Jewish people. I actually like Jewish people, and I want to thank Jewish people because they've done such a good job with our country. And when you think about it, you know, just doing the bidding of Israel is not something we would want to do as a nation. It's not politically in our best interests. But to be forced into it because of their monetary backing here in this country, you got to thank Jews for that, simply because they've got the power. But now we don't need that anymore. But I want to say thanks, Jews, because a lot of you don't realize how important Jewish people have been to the formation of our government, our banking community, and our even our entertainment. Most of it's done by Jewish people. And of course, if you want good legal assistance, it's going to cost you $500 an hour. Thank you, Jews.
Did you know that there is a group of people out there that does an incredible amount of good for us, and yet is truly underappreciated?
Who are you talking about?
Jews.
Oh, so what did Jews do for us?
The real question is, what don't Jews do for us? Well, let's start with money. You like money, right?
Sure, who doesn't?
Well, maybe you should check out who has been greasing the monetary machine. Look at the great people who have been busy heading the Federal Reserve, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and other large financial institutions.
Wow, I knew Jews were good with money, but I didn't know they were responsible for running the world's money supply. Thanks, Jews.
Well, what about entertainment and information? You like media, don't you?
I sure do.
Have you ever thanked the people who own almost all of the media outlets in the Western world? That's right. Jews are behind our movies, television, newspapers, magazines, radio, and more. They have been burdened with entertaining and informing us all, men, women, children, and grandparents alike.
So thanks, Jews. But it's time to move on now and to make it more fair for people of all different backgrounds, because Jews only occupy 3% of our population. So dominating our banking community, great. You did a good job setting it up so that we could just borrow money forever and give it to you. Our medical industry, which seriously rapes everybody who goes in for a health checkup, physically and financially. You've done enough. I mean, you've really accelerated the growth of patents in the medical field. And Israel itself, by the way, is the home of more patent holders than any other country in the world. So you've done a good job innovating, etc., but it's time to pass the sword to the rest of the world. I am not in any way anti-Semitic. I have Jewish friends. I'm not in any way against Jewish people. I don't hate Israel. I don't think Israel is a bad country. I just don't want them running this nation overseas and directing our foreign policy. It's that simple. But if you pick Hillary or Donald, you will get a person who will suck up to Israel and everything they tell them to do. But more importantly, the people who are behind the scrim of the Zionist movement, the globalists, the Rothschilds, the Warburgs, the Bergstroms. These are the most powerful families in the world, even the Windsor family of England. You want to mess with them? Well, I don't think we need to. Do you want to be a nation unto ourselves? That's what we need. We don't need presidents that do the bidding of Israel or money brokers around the world. But we've been simply pulled around by the short hairs by these groups of secret societies operating through the Bilderberg Group, a foundation, and they say people are at top of their field. Really, just at one layer, you're right. They're the people at the top of their field. But at another layer, you're looking at an unbelievably corrupt Venetian royalty who, if you go to their family gatherings and talk about it, you don't go back. In fact, you don't go anywhere. If you guys saw Eyes Wide Shut, right, with all those Luciferian dark masses that happen, blood worship, the whole thing. Eyes Wide Shut, great movie, Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. It was filmed at the Rothschilds' home. I'm just saying, they're into some pretty dark stuff. And if you don't believe what's happening, when you look at Hillary or Donald, you're looking at an incredible pathway to a secret society that controls our country. I like Jews, and I don't like you, so I'm going to mute you and tell you you can either get out of the room or go away, okay? I just said thanks to all the Jews for setting up all these amazing things. Now I want to take it one step further. I want to legalize marijuana. Greedy people who profit from that don't. Gary Johnson,
You're all right, buddy.
he doesn't want anyone to have the ability to get smoked like this guy.
His first toke.
Here's Dave. He's toking the first time. I want legalized marijuana for people like this
Notice
guy.
the palsy. Notice his shaking.
Gary Johnson, he wants to make it so this
No,
guy has to
just
have a
give him another
prescription
one,
and
give
be
him
under
another one.
observation by a doctor.
There you go.
That's ridiculous.
Hey. Inhale, bud.
Here you go, man. This guy started with seizures. I'm going to fast forward
Both
to
hands are
a
stopped
time in the
shaking.
video where he's going to actually get better. You're going to see it.
See, we're like 60 seconds in. Dave stopped shaking. Another toke. Get it in him.
One toke over the line, Dave. One toke over the line. Let's get him in about 3-minute mark. Let's see what this is. Dave's getting a little high there. Feeling better, Dave?
Better by the song. Ooh.
Feeling better. Give me another toke, dude. Oh, get some water into him. Yeah. Rehydrate.
I'm feeling a lot better.
He's feeling a lot better.
I'm tired. Really tired, but
Feeling a lot better.
you had to work out. Yeah.
So that you just saw with your own eyes a guy who went from being tremors, seizures, to feeling okay. And this is working with the non-cooked form of cannabis. They're actually juicing cannabis for kids. In some states like Colorado, people go there with their kids have seizures, and they stop having seizures when they get this juice diet. And it doesn't get them high. It's a psychoactive drug that only works if indeed it's cooked. All right. That was not Ron Paul. That was just the meaning of legalization. So again, Hillary and Donald won't do that. She wants to put you in camps.
For adults. We have decided we really need camps for adults.
She really, really wants to force vaccinate everybody in the country. She really, really wants to continue to endorse GMOs, Monsanto. Trust me on this. This is not going to be a bad situation when we look at hybrid marijuana. I hope I got it. Can't stand flies. hybrid marijuana. But as long as GMOs are not being used to allow marijuana to accept more pesticides, that's a mistake. Man, this thing is either slow or fast. I don't know. Could be one of those drones. Hope I got it. If I see it again, if I hit this thing like real fast. Glenn Hump Link supports me. Thank you, Glenn. An edible nano coating that can preserve foods gets patented. Oh no. Not only do they not have clearance on the GMOs because of recent studies showing they produced tumors in laboratory animals, but oh no, now they want to put nano coating on the food. You guys have probably... Yes! Thank you. I think I did the number on the guy. Yeah, this is an edible nano coating increasing life of foods in order to extend the life of fruits and vegetables and preserve them for longer refrigeration. The National Autonomous University of Mexico. What? Researchers developed an edible coating with added functional ingredients applied to freshly cut foods. Okay. By oxidation, many fruits no longer consumed with this technology. Crop losses will decrease, retaining nutrients from fruits. Have they been studying this product long term? Where the university technology has been preserved apple cut up to 25 days. Cut apple, 25 days. That's just bizarre. Certifresh and all these things they spray on salads with sulfur in them do similar things. Its production is costly because it costs 70 pesos a liter of dispersion. Can be coating 20 kilograms of cut fruit ready to be placed in convenience stores and consumed later. Whoa! After 9 years of research, university scientists found that if the nano capsules loaded with alpha tocopherol and beta-carotene in fruits and fresh vegetables are dispersed to homogeneous film, forms of flexible inhibits an enzymatic browning and prolongs the life of these. The micro-encapsulated we design are food additives with a similar to that of a ball of nanometric size ranging between 100 to 500 nanometers. Structure internally can place you active substance such as lemon. Okay, now I want to show you this entire article was written by a robot. I mean, this is a weird quote. The micro-encapsulated, we design our food additives with a similar to that of a ball nanometric size ranging between 100 to 500 nanometers. Structure internal can place you active substance such as lemon oil. It's completely unintelligible. So we are literally seeing robots write about how we are going to have nanoparticles sprayed on our food. Wow. Drag King got a folding bicycle. Let's take a look. How to save energy on your car? Drive your folding bicycle. Waste not, want not. Pretty cool. Whoa. That is really convenient. Right on, dude. And a little handy one wrapped in a cold folder there. So you get it to your destination. Oh, this is, you piece it together, wow. Okay, that's special. We'll add that to our Technology Thursday show. Yeah, real cool. You know, they make a folding bicycle already, and they sell it in, like, Heartland. Heartland America sells these things. I don't know a person by John, whatever. There's nobody by that name. You're not Eric Trump? Trust me, believe me. Okay, I won't. Yeah, calling me gay is slanderous, because I'm not. And going out and making statements to that effect shows me that you people... No, I like guests on. You people really have like a hidden agenda. Folding bicycles. You know how long folding bicycles have been out? Seriously, Drag King. I'm not personally angry at you for that link, but yeah, we've seen folding bicycles for a long, long time. Hold on. Okay, let's take a look at some folding bicycles. Ta-da! Yeah, that's a really cool innovation. I'll take any one of these over that piece of crap you just sent me. Thank you. In fact, I'm going to burn the link. Nobody wants to ride in some stupid trike-like weird thing. All right. Thanks. I'm not going to foment the fear thing that Russia is preparing for nuclear war. That's like fanning the flame of anger and hatred. But I will show you the drought picture that came in earlier. This is really quite significant. California drought, artificially engineered. You realize what a waste it is to see all of those olive trees and those almond trees and those walnut trees die? There's so many trees in California that are dead now because of this artificially created drought. It's sickening. I get sick thinking about the 66 million sequoias that are going to die because they're artificially dropping chemtrails all over the California coastline. Does Trump talk about this ever? No. Does Hillary talk about this ever? No. Here's a shocking statistic and how a lot of you are saving money on your budget and cutting back on your personal waste. 2/3 of young American adults live with their parents. As part of its periodic report on society at a glance, which looks at how youth across member states are faring in terms of several social indicators, employment, poverty, etc., those aged 15 to 29 living at home, the percentage has increased to 2/3. That's right. And that, for a good reason. We have, in America, it's really, Italy, it's worse. But for a good reason. They're saving money. Nothing wrong with that. Trump is basically a blowhard bag of air that has managed to BS everybody into thinking he's a billionaire without ever proving it publicly, without actually showing the books. And when asked about the tax returns, he will not actually show them because they show a shocking revelation that he may not have paid taxes over the past 18 years. Yeah, guess if you threaten me, I'll have more than the FBI. Yeah.
Hey, there's a Sean Elwood. You see that? Take a look what I got here. It's the 5-inch Google Pixel smartphone. Just announced today. You can see the metal chassis here with some 2.5D Gorilla Glass on the top, fingerprint sensor, a camera with no camera bump, and some nice bevels around the edges so you can hold it. Even though it's a metal smartphone with rounded edges, there's also some little bevels in here so you don't drop it all that easily. We've got the Google Assistant on this phone too. It runs Android 7.1. Google.
All right, I'm not going to be encouraging the mass consumption of things in America. If people really want to, they can certainly try to consume things. But I got to tell you, Trump will nowhere near get close to the presidency if he continues acting like a two-faced liar. And you're seeing all these people come at me right now in the show. And this is what's interesting. It's an attack mode right now. You see how they're coming at me? It's almost like they know that I'm better than the two-party candidates running, even the vice presidents. They know I've got a better connection with the American people. And they're scared. I can smell fear in the chat room right now. I'm serious. Trump and Hillary both exhibit signs of Zionism, total mindless support for AIPAC, willingness to do the bidding of Henry Kissinger and the World Bank. Trump will take us into war. Hillary will take us into war. Trump and Hillary will not in any way get us out of war. And Trump, Hillary, they both talk about going deeper into war. So if you really want to fall for this trick the elitists are playing by attacking this show, feel free. Trump stole 14 of my ideas. Good point. Trump is the war maker. He's the guy who wants to do a ground invasion against Iran, if you can imagine that. Here's YouTube's assessment of Trump's boldest lies in the debate. We got a 5-minute video coming up from the first presidential debate. I counted 58 lies on both of their parts. But it's going to be interesting. We'll play this later tonight.
What's up, guys? Nadeska here for Complex News. Last night, a record-breaking number of people tuned in to watch Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump's first presidential debate, but if you weren't one of them, we've got you on the highlights. Before I even start, though, I can already hear you guys calling us biased, so I'll just put this out there. The entire debate was fact-checked by reliable sources like NPR, so I'm just stating actual facts here.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I know. I counted 58 lies during that debate. Dave, Complex is democratically biased? Okay, well, thanks for telling me. Thank you, Potato Girl. I will send all of this information on to the FBI if the death threats continue. No, Trump wants to start wars as well. You didn't know? God, you people, you Trump supporters are such idiots. Trump's already been very, very adamant about wanting to attack ISIS. I don't trust anything in the mainstream media. That's why I've been censored for the past 6 or 8 years. I'll pray for your safety too, guest 276. Watch out for that small old lady crossing in the street. You might just, be regrettable. No, Hillary didn't start them. Hillary created the environment for war. In case you didn't know, George W. Bush and the Republicans started the Iraq and Afghanistan war. You're a little bit half-witted on your statistics. You're the FBI and you're laughing on me? Well, you'll be laughing too, especially on your way to Supermax when I arrest certain key elements within the FBI. As president, I will lie detect your ass and send you on to Supermax if we find that you've been violating the national trust of our people. I believe the FBI and other agencies like the CIA are acting on behalf of a very complex shadow government of thugs that have been running a secret plan to dominate this country and virtually put us into war after war. So when you say Trump won't take us into war, you got to be kidding me. He's already said he wants a ground invasion of Iran. So you have to wonder, what the hell's wrong with the Trump tards in this room? Trump hasn't served in any capacity whatsoever. How could he create anything other than debt? He has managed to do 4 corporate bankruptcies, screwing people like my family over. My family lost 10 grand back in the 80s, which would be like 40 grand today because of Resort International and what happened there. Oh yeah, I have a personal bone to pick with that scumbag. Hey Ed, how you doing? Poor Ed couldn't find a car to live in. He said that the whole $200 van idea was a complete hoax. They led him on. Trump's lost tons. He lost nearly $1 billion in '95. Probably hasn't paid taxes because he's afraid to reveal his tax returns, even though he said he was going to. Look, if you either want an honest person in the presidency, I'm your guy. It's really coming down to that. You're not going to get an honest person with Hillary or Donald. Period. Plus, your vote probably won't even be counted. You Hillary people are probably going to have a Trump vote put on your vote because the Diebold voting system has been compromised. You Trump people might have a Hillary vote on your vote. It won't even get registered. Whereas if you write my name in, it will. And I must remind you all that Trump and Hillary will not legalize marijuana. Yeah. You know, I do think that Danny Williams could be Bill Clinton's son. But again, the Clintons have skated over many, many more important and dangerous and very disturbing things than having an illegitimate son. That's nothing. We just played a video last night of 114 people dead in the wake of knowing Bill and Hillary. All right. Drag King, lighten up. Yeah, cheating on your taxes is a virtue in Trump's world, exactly. No, I am not protecting Hillary. She is as corrupt as hell. And Donald is just as bad. I mean, they're part of the same deal, man. If you don't realize they're all part of the same thing, you miss the whole point of a third party. Thank you. The reason why the third party is essential is the Democrats, Republicans will not cut government waste. Period. I'm not a politician either. And that makes me much more insulated and independent than him. He owes $640 million worldwide, and $2 billion he shares with other people in a debt. He's got connections that lead him to a very dark place. Now, would you want Tony Montana running the country? Say I was, running for president and I was, Tony Montana, Okay. Say hello to my little friend. Take Trump for example, okay? We're going to make a deal he's not going to refuse, Okay. Say hello to my little friend. I mean, you are literally asking for trouble by putting Trump in the White House. Hillary, you're definitely getting trouble, but you're asking for big trouble by putting a guy in the White House who read Adolf Hitler's speeches when he was married to Ivana Trump right before they went to bed. Honey, what are you doing? Don't bother me. I'm reading these speeches. I don't bother me. I mean, can you imagine somebody reading Adolf Hitler's speeches before they go to bed? You don't want a dictator for president. You want a person who can reach across both aisles and basically finesse a negotiation that works for people. People, not politicians, people. Hitler was a sick, demonic, satanic, evil despot who was burning in hell right now. We've got death threats all over the place. Yeah, I got tons of death threats. You want to copy them and send to America's Third Party? Feel free. I live with death threats daily. That's the nature of running for president in a country that's completely corrupt and being an honest man. What do you think is going on? Use your brain, folks. Our country is literally frying because of the corruption at the very top. These congressmen and congresswomen are absolute whores, willing to work for a small fraction of what they're using your tax dollars to give to the big corporations. There's nothing wrong with Jewish people. And Hitler was a horrible person for attacking Jewish people and other ethnic minorities. But, I mean, ironically, I listened to a speech by Netanyahu. Israel obviously has leaders that believe otherwise. And listen to this by Netanyahu, and it's going to blow your mind.
And this attack and other attacks on the Jewish community in 1920, 1921, 1929 were instigated by a call of the Mufti of Jerusalem, Haj Amin al-Husseini, who was later sought for war crimes in the Nuremberg trials because he had a central role in fomenting the final solution. He flew to Berlin. Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time. He wanted to expel the Jews. And Haj Amin al-Husseini went to Hitler and said, if you expel them, they'll all come here. So what should I do with them? He asked. He said, burn them. And he was sought during the Nuremberg trials for prosecution. He escaped it. Later died in cancer after the war, died of cancer in Cairo. But this is what Haj Amin al-Husseini said. He said, the Jews seek to destroy the Temple Mount. My grandfather in 1920 seeks to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So this lie is about 100 years old.
All right, he's telling it like it is.
This attack and others' attack.
He's telling it like it is. Netanyahu, obviously a respected leader in his country. You could say the same thing about any other leader around the world, I suppose. But me saying that Netanyahu is probably right about that? The threat of the Muslims against the Jews was so great that a mullah ordered the death of the Jews to Hitler, and he simply did it. Now, that doesn't give Hitler an excuse. Believe me, he totally takes responsibility for it, and he should have been prosecuted. But I ask you, how in the world did Hitler escape prosecution when the FBI recently admitted that that Hitler was living in Argentina, and they had credible evidence to suggest that? Remember the old story that Hitler was living in Argentina and it got away? He did. And he lived to be about until 1962 he died. We know that. We can give you a link right now to that story if my links work here. Let me take a look. Let me look up Hitler on my link library. We have a link library if you haven't been to it. It's pretty interesting. Here's that link to Netanyahu if you want to actually see that quote. It's pretty interesting. But we actually have a link library that talks about all this. There's Trump's ex-wife kept a book of Hitler's speeches by his bedside. Last April, perhaps in a surge of Czech nationalism, Ivana Trump told her lawyer Michael Kennedy that from time to time her husband reads a book of Hitler's collected speeches. My New Order, which he kept in a cabinet by his bed, Hitler's speeches from his earliest days up through the phony war of 1939. Reveal his extraordinary ability as a master propagandist. Anne Frank's stepsister compared Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler. There's another one. 13 similarities between Obama and Hitler. Here it is. FBI, Hitler didn't die, he fled to Argentina. Stunning admission. All right. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Eva Peron probably knew that Hitler was alive. There. Anyway, the FBI, I ask you, why would the FBI give him a pass? Now, this is an organization, mind you, that just came in our room and claimed they are with the FBI and they're laughing at me right now. Now, that could have been some weirdo in his basement making that statement. But I must say, I was shocked when my calls to the FBI haven't been returned. I really am. So it doesn't surprise me that an honest person running for president in America encounters an article where the FBI purposely protected Adolf Hitler for 20, 30 years. Yeah, check it out. So these stories are never going to be talked about on the mainstream media. But they had well over 200 pages in a document. I think the document's there too. Showing, here it is redacted, little bits of it, showing that the FBI knew full well that he was living in Argentina and didn't do a damn thing. So that bolsters my argument that the Nazis took over residence of our government back in the 1930s. That's why the Bush family succeeded and put us in the war, because basically it was an extension of Hitler and the Nazis. Prescott Bush was the grandfather of George W. and the father of George H.W. The adopted father, I might say, because George H.W. was the son of a different person. The family line, though, was adopted, and Prescott Bush was charged with money laundering by none other than J. Edgar Hoover. Money laundering for Adolf Hitler. So the connection between the Nazis and their embedded position here in our country right now has never been more serious. They are controlling the underbelly of our government. They're the ones behind people like Trump and Hillary. These are the Zionists. I'm telling you. Their plan was very complete. They wanted a homeland and they wanted to take over Jerusalem, so they created the environment to do that. But they managed to do that, and we can't go back on history now. We'd be wasting our time trying to uproot them. They have the Samson option. And it was made evident by Colin Powell recently that our government allegedly sold, according to Colin Powell in a hacked email, our country allegedly sold Israel 200 nuclear weapons. And our agreement with them is to give them like $35 billion over 10 years now. We don't think that's right. Unless they sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Agreement, they can't get money from us. So there's a lot of differences between me and Donald. I'm not a Zionist. Or me and Hillary. I'm not a Zionist. All right, great. Hi, how you doing? You guys have kind of a nice little side community in the show. We do a show till about 2 in the morning every night. We got a lot of people who call in and or who come into our show and discuss things. It's kind of cool. And we got a person over there I have to kick over an iBlog who was a Nazi. We got to get rid of the Nazis over there. Trained monkeys, yeah. Yeah, to get my rocks off, they're trolling me. So these FBI agents, not only will they be lie detected and when I'm president, those who fail the lie detector test will be prosecuted. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing to clean up the country. I'm not going to sit back and watch your personal rights being violated by cops, too. Now, the other candidates haven't piped in on this, and I think I should pipe in on it. I want to make sure that our military, our police force is not acting like a military force. And they are much more sensitive. So sensitivity training should be high on the list of any municipality that gets federal dollars will have to have sensitivity training, which includes family care, expanded family care to make sure we're going to phase out CPS. Child Protective Services is costing $7 billion. We need to phase it out. We bring in more modern-day orphanages for kids. But the police force will be trained with an expansion of the domestic violence training they have right now. Well, they can deal with a kid. It won't be a big deal. And then the shoot to maim policy will be put in place as opposed to shoot to kill. Right now, there's a shoot-to-kill policy that's killing people left and right in our country. 1,202 last year died at the hands of a police officer, and half of them were not even armed. People are losing empathy, right? And that's part of the mass programming and desensitization of our society with violence on television. CPS is horrible, yeah. Boom Boom 2 says CPS workers are terrible. The workers are using their own opinions to take kids from schools or from homes, from good homes. Yeah. So CPS costs us about $7 billion a year. Another thing we're going to do is get rid of the TSA, phase that out. We've got military personnel who can do the work at the airports, and they're already on a pay scale. So that's going to save another $7 billion a year by getting rid of the TSA. I think I have a picture of the scanners that they use. Rapid scanners. Yeah, I don't have a picture right here of the rapid scan units, but they've got this ability to scan you very quickly, and it has never really proven to be effective at stopping terrorism. You know, the real threat of terrorism was the inside job we know as 9/11. That's the reason why we haven't been attacked for the past 15 years directly. And all they can do is come up with false flags to make us think we've been attacked. So that's another interesting part of this current regime. They keep producing a theory that we're under constant threat of terror. And they'll use other means to control the politics. Like when Benghazi happened, General Petraeus was going to talk, and 2 days before he was going to talk in front of a Senate subcommittee hearing, his affair with Paula popped up. And the FBI, of all places, said that they had him under surveillance for 2 years prior. They just pulled that out of their buttholes and then presented it to the media. And then all of a sudden, General Petraeus was worried about everything going on in his life. He was indeed charged with a felony, and he's serving a probation period right now, believe it or not, for sharing state secrets with Paula. But either way, this story is used against people like General Petraeus, and he wasn't able to actually talk about Benghazi. He was shut up. So they're using that too. That's correct. I said butthole. So I realize a lot of you people are just not quite understanding what you're dealing with here in this country. But what I can say with 100% certainty is our government is completely corrupt. We don't have any decent people running our country right now. We've been inundated by corrupt cronyism, and it's been lingering in the two-party system for so long that your vote for the two parties is only an approval of that corruption. So by continuing to vote for a Donald or Hillary, you're just basically part of the problem. You're not going to create any new waves in this country. You might as well just stick your head in the toilet and flush it, because it's basically going down the toilet. You and your head and everything in your whole life, everything you work to save, will be lost when you find out you got a tumor by eating GMO corn. Gee, I lost a cousin who's 29 years old. They say he looked almost like me. I never met him. But he was in Minnesota, and he was a really, really strong farmer who used to grow wild rice professionally. And he dispensed pesticides on a daily basis because the wild rice grows in watered environments where a lot of things can affect it. And they use a lot of pesticides, usually when they grow wild rice. He died of stomach cancer at the age of 29. And I can definitely connect the dots between his death and the pesticides that he distributed. He probably didn't wash his hands and had a sandwich in his hand, something like that. Who knows? But bottom line is they're killing us slowly. And whatever's going to happen to your body is going to cost you an arm and a leg when you go to the doctor. If you have any equity whatsoever, it's gone when you get to the doctor. So they got a scam going every which way. That's why they don't want to legalize marijuana. That's why they want Donald or Hillary, because she doesn't want legalization. She's never even admitted to smoking pot. And he claims he's never done any drugs, which I find incredibly hard to believe. And so much so that Howard Dean asked the inevitable question on Twitter. Cocaine?
Mr. Trump, you have 2 minutes. How do you heal the divide?
Some music here.
How specifically are you going to tell American manufacturers that you have to come back?
It's like he can't stop. Yeah, he just keeps snorting constantly. 28 snorts I counted the entire debate. Maybe even more. It's like he can't stop. Or he won't stop.
And we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. And we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop. We can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Sponheim for president. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. And we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop. 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 And we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Wonder when we're gonna make it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up, partner, piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop.
Okay, and as per request, a little cowbell for a chaser. Thank you. Hope we're all inspired now. Dude, radical. All right. Denver has run out of storage for confiscated pot and begs for more shelves. What the heck? Denver PD. A police force in Denver has too much weed. Check this story out. Talk about waste. Wow. The police force in Denver has too much weed, so so much it runs out of space to keep it, and asks the state for money to build more shelves and hire more people. Although pot was legalized in Colorado, its cultivation has many legal limits. So people are growing it and they're getting it confiscated even in a state like Colorado. You see why there's so many problems with the recreational legal plan at the state level? All of you should be able to grow it and produce it without having to pay a fee. I don't know, man. They're getting people who don't have fees that they pay in advance before, and then they confiscate it. Yeah. Okay, do you know that this cow right here is not a very healthy cow? Chances are it was raised on Roundup, and Roundup is a big part of the cow's diet. And most of us are eating Roundup now, and in 93% of the urine tested in America, they found Roundup or glyphosate, the product in Roundup. So there's a lot of problems with the entire agricultural community that allows Monsanto, a massive, dangerous giant, to produce products that it's literally poisoning the earth. You're seeing the death of the monarch butterfly. You're seeing the death of the bees that do the pollinating. And we found out that most of the EPA just announced that they've known this for years, but most of the honey, the mass-produced honey in America, has Roundup in it. Your store-bought honey has Roundup in it.
What causes the Roundup to be in the honey? How does it get there?
Well, the process of the Roundup, the glyphosate, ends up killing off the bees' ability to determine what is and isn't food. So they don't know where the pollen is. So oftentimes the bees that are contaminated with the Roundup end up sitting in the honey themselves with Roundup all over their bodies. And then the bees just sit there and they don't know what to do. And then they eventually lose the ability to pollinate, and the honey disappears. But in the meantime, the honey supply is tainted with Roundup. All right, the photo is wherever the photo should be. If I'm incorrect about where the photo is taken, could you do a Google Earth map search of where this cow is located? Just to be sure, because it looked like a Rocky Mountain high in Colorado kind of cow. But hey, I'll stand corrected but there's Roundup all around the world now. 100% of the urine in the European Union Parliament was found to actually have Roundup or glyphosate in their urine. 100%. So I'm saying Roundup is everywhere now, man. So your point is moot. Even if the cow was in Switzerland. Cool. We're catching the wave here with Dave. No, it's not a Photoshop cow. God, hey, Chameleon, missed your debate review? That's okay. We're convinced the two parties are not able to address the key issues like GMOs in our diet, forced vaccinations, the fact that our country is going to war all the time against an imaginary force called ISIS. These are the things that the two parties just don't touch on. And Trump is simply part of the establishment. The only reason why he even said that he thought that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton created ISIS was because I said it for 6 months prior on our show. And he didn't even understand the statement. And to this day, he still thinks ISIS is a really big threat. So you got to understand, Donald Trump doesn't understand foreign policy. In the number 3 debate in the primaries against the other Republican candidates, he was asked, what would you do with the nuclear triad? And he responded in an irrelevant way, and he didn't even know what the nuclear triad was, which is our air, sea, and land nuclear defenses. and how we're needing to update the infrastructure over time. He didn't even respond to the question, showing that he didn't even know what a nuclear triad was. So this guy is shamefully unprepared to be president. And he is using our ideas. It's very true. Thank you, Chameleon. I'm going to step out, get a little break. Sarah's going to talk to you guys and calm you down, because I obviously get a little amped out. And you get a different type of a chat show with her.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just pretty calm, etc. Just chilling. That's it. I disagree with you, 434. We should vote for Sponheim. That's where it's at. It's where the hope resides. Well, if he asked, I don't know if he would ask. There's is back. Time to party. If you say so. You like to party with me? Something like that. Chillin' like a villain. Not like a villain, like an awesome person. Have I ever been touched by an angel? Some people say I look like one of the actresses on that show, Touched by an Angel. But, not right now, Super Dave. But thanks for asking. Yeah, thank you, Boom Boom, too. I agree with you. He says it's so sad that David and I aren't on the debate stage. Yes, exactly. The Black Lives Matter group is like another propaganda for people to focus on while the U.S. government is creating new laws. Elope us? Your eliteness? What? A little bit, Potato Girl. Thanks for noticing. Yeah, it's a busy time of year for me. Very busy. Oh, I would love for you to brush my hair. It's one of those things that I just feel like don't always have the time to do. Well, you can actually see me. I took the debate and I was listening to it live. I filmed it on October 4th on our YouTube channel, and I took the debate and answered the questions as I would if I were in the debate. So that was fun. At least the vice presidential debate. All right. Okay. A little bit early tonight. A little bit gnarly. My hair or what? Yeah, check my YouTube and check the October 4th, 2016, and I'm in there somewhere debating the candidates or taking video. I was playing their video too, but I wasn't playing too much of it because I felt like that debate between the vice presidential candidates was all about like attacking the opposition. Let's say that. Attacking the opposition. Chameleon says, man, you're already sleeping. Sometimes that happens to me, especially on the show, because I have a full day of doing things, and then I come to the show and I'm pretty tired. So you get your hair cut you always get a back rub from the ladies when you get your hair cut? Wow, you must go to an awesome salon. Casper Ghost, hello, how are you? Thanks for friending me over on iVlog. Appreciate that. Alright, good. Donald Trump sniffing and heavy breathing. Let's just see if we have this already added to Trump. And if not, I'll add it to Trump. There we go. Then I'll close out of this. Men cut hair better than women. I guess it all depends. Maybe women cut women's hair better and men cut men's hair better. Why is everyone making it such a big deal over Trump's taxes? Because, well, one of the things I heard, and I'm not sure, is he may have used that loss. Well, here's the real big deal that they're making over Trump's losses, is that he is claiming that he lost nearly $1 billion. That's a lot of money. That's enough money to make 1,000 people millionaires. And so I think that's the real thing. Is he just going to put the entire country deeper and deeper in debt? That's what I would say, is that the people are concerned that you say it's not Trump personally. Well, he's not in charge. Even if he were to be president, there would be other people underneath him, but he's still, it has to be, the buck stops here. And he should have realized when his casinos were losing money. And the other thing, they say for a casino to lose money, that much money, it's very, very rare. Because most of the time, casinos make money hand over fist. Alright, thank you. Boom, boom, 2. There you go. Yeah, well, like I said, Casper Ghost, most casinos, the majority of casinos in existence make money. How is it that the majority of casinos make money and Trump's casinos were losing money? Well, why did you say there were other people involved, why didn't he fire those other people involved? You don't have a clue and you're not going to defend it. I'm going to say that he should not have been losing nearly $1 billion. That's what I'm going to say. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a country to lose, let alone an individual or running a corporation. Well, I hope the IRS has been on his back for 18 years and continues to do so, because it could be that he actually broke the law. It could be. What do you think I don't believe, Old Scratch? There's no income tax, or the fact that Trump claimed a nearly $1 billion debt on his income taxes? America loses when car dealers leave? Okay, if you say so. The thing is, though, if he lost the money, how are they going to get the money from him, the IRS? They won't. Yeah, and he continues to claim bankruptcy. What is he going to put America in bankruptcy too? Well, when America goes into bankruptcy, a lot worse thing has happened than an individual going into bankruptcy. Yeah, it is hard to grasp $1 billion. It's enough money. $1 billion is enough money to make 1,000 people millionaires. Is that a good way of explaining $1 billion? I don't know what LOTR stands for. Do you really think one man, even the president of the USA, could put the country in bankruptcy? Congress holds the purse strings. Congress does the spending. I'd say, though, that there is a lot of spending from the executive branch, and I think that you might say that, well, I would say that we're already so deeply in debt that yes, a president could put us over the edge. The wrong president could put us over the edge. Yeah, I could watch what people say, watch to stay hip. I suppose I could. Well, I think females might actually do a better job. Some females might do a better job than males when it comes to running the country. But not that I don't believe that Hillary is one of those. Why I'm not well, I would say most people are rightly amazed that he would lose that much money. Well, how old are you, Casper? Do you file taxes? Have you ever filed your own taxes, or do you have other people do them? Or do you hire a CPA? So you have a business, and you do your own taxes. All right, and you've done your own taxes for 30 years. Does your business ever lose hundreds of thousands of dollars? Maybe a woman could be a single individual running the country. Yeah, and that is a huge issue, Casper. If you say in the years you've taken a loss, you can forward that to the next year's profit. So if you lose $10,000 this year, then you can say, if you make money next year, then you can take like the money and say, well, I still overall lost money. So then you don't have to pay taxes, right? Well, the problem when you have Trump doing that, then he doesn't have to pay taxes for a decade. And we're talking about huge amounts of money. Well, if you're thinking about it, you're already one step toward it. So go ahead and try it out, Chris, and see what you think. Well, I personally think people shouldn't be able to forward losses over a certain amount. I understand, say, up to 50,000 in losses. I don't understand $1 billion in losses and be able to forward that on. You're outraged, don't get you wrong. So what are you surprised people aren't outraged? I don't know. You said you're surprised that you say it's not Trump, it's the system. I think that both are to blame. I don't think that I wonder about his taxes if he lied on that documentation. Hello, Peter. How are you, friends? I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you've been enjoying your life. And I hope things that haven't been too busy for you. Well, see, Casper Ghost, I have to say this. When you're talking about, you say they are making it like Trump is running the show. But the fact is that we're talking about his corporations that he is running the show on. Whether you say, oh, it's the casinos lost the money. It's his taxes. It's not the casino. It's him. The buck should stop there. Just like if I'm handling money, the buck stops here. So he should be responsible. All right. I'm glad to hear you've been okay, Peter. Old Scratch says the years you lost money, you were thankful for the loopholes because it kept you in business. I completely agree with you, Super Dave, and I don't even want to see what you have to say for the next 10 minutes, so I'm going to mute you and you can come back when Dave is on the show. Well, we can go look at the taxes. It was leaked. Well, it's a whole lot of dollars that he lost. Let's see if we can find one. I don't have a link right now, but I can look for one for you. I mean, you could look for one yourself. He's not denying it. That's what I would say. Yeah, there's a guy trapped in the water. I think he's enjoying it, though. Otherwise, he wouldn't put his hand up. Or is that a call for help? All right. Oh wait, he's getting pitted. Oh, yeah, exactly. He's in the what did they call it? The pit? I don't know. I thought they used to call it a tunnel or something like that. So Trump says he's legally used the tax laws to his benefits. Oh, here it is. Thank you, flyer guy. Here it is. You would like to audit his taxes, so you guys should take a look. Here, shall we take a look? I'm glad that they took out his Social Security information, but this is... It's resident income tax return. Where is my... Okay... So this is from assets.document.cloud documents. Okay, so here he is. Married, filing jointly. 3 exemptions he claimed. Two was taxable interest income, $7 million. He earned $7 million in interest. $7 million in interest is what he claimed in 95. And then he claimed negative 900. See statement 1, it says. Negative $909 million. Federal adjusted gross income. Income tax non-resident return. So his total income, he's saying, is 19 million. Amount from New Jersey sources, 1.5 million. I just wonder how he came up to... So it doesn't have statement 1 attached to this, so we can't see where his supposed losses are from. His rental real estate, he says, is that negative 15 or negative 5 million? That's hard to see right there. Why would someone claim if your losses came from your business? This is a resident income tax return. If your losses came from your business, how can you claim all that? But the sad thing is there's no statement 1 or statement 2 are not attached, so people can't see this. These do look like state tax forms, not federal tax forms. Alright, sorry Chris, good night. You don't like looking at numbers? Yeah, well, Jerva, I would say even people that are $100,000 or less a year shouldn't have to pay taxes. Right now, it's a 10 if you make 10,000 or less. Yeah, they are. You're right about the missing information. Thanks, Lou. I appreciate that, I guess. David didn't make enough to file taxes. Yeah, here it's more than 50. It's not. It's less than 50,000 is the cutoff. The cutoff is, I think, around 9,500. If you make 9,500 or more, you have to pay or file. If you make under a certain amount, you don't even need to file taxes. Thanks, Super Dave. Well, welcome back. I know you were just saying things that were against women earlier, and I just... Wasn't that you? Or was that somebody else? I don't know. Whoever I muted. Super Dave. Okay. Maybe you just needed 10 minutes. Alright. Well, David was self-employed. He no longer needs to earn an income. Yeah, well, I agree with that the system is broken. Yes, what should outrage us is how many people are doing this. I agree with that, Casper. Ghost. Agreed. Completely agree with you. There. Thanks, Super Dave. I just think as a woman, I believe I'm capable of almost everything a guy is capable of. There's certain things I'd rather leave up to men. But I can tell you some men would rather just leave them up to somebody else. Those things, it's like nobody really wants to do them, whether you're a man or a woman. Well, my birthday is in February. Demoted to deputy. David's is April. Yeah, it is ridiculous that many companies dodge taxes. Oh, David was in advertising when he was self-employed? Yes, I will say, instead of the word masculine, some women are very muscular. And some men are muscular. And some women are... there's this really old book, but I find it to be pretty interesting. It's called How to Analyze People on Sight. And in that book, this author talks about 5 different types of people. One is, and she lays out this idea that it all comes from different parts of your body being more developed than others. So anyway, it's kind of cool. Yes, I agree with that. Not all women, and in fact, not all men are as capable of doing some things as the muscular men.
I don't do anything for income right now. I'm drawing from savings. That's how I manage to survive. And, when you save money, unlike Trump, who spends it and borrows it, you've got a real problem. He has a $63 million interest debt per year on the money he's loaned out to. So basically, he's borrowed $640 million. He owes about $64 million per year in interest. And ironically, that's how many donations he just got, about $63 million. And he hasn't reported where he's spending that money. So the donations he got to run his campaign may very well be used. This guy has hidden all of his assets and everything. It's all totally untransparent. And I don't think anyone's told him that he has to put everything in a public trust. A blind trust won't do.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. That was great. Sarah did a fantastic job. Thank you. They're both equally bad. Yeah. For various reasons. Hillary is got connections to the World Bank and the IMF. Donald has connections to the Russians and the Russian mobsters. Both arms of the New World Order are backing Donald and Hillary independently. Yeah, she was great. So your vote for Donald or Hillary will be a wasted vote. Flat out. You're just going to vote for the same problem that we have right now. And that's been my argument all along. It doesn't take a lot of money to live comfortably. You could live on less very easily. You don't have to spend money every day on things. You don't even have to go anywhere. You could stay at home and save money just watching television and drinking tea and sipping tea with honey in it. When you get cancer, I think you could probably get a treatment plan. I would recommend maybe medicinals, marijuana, cannabinoids, things like that. Well, life isn't supposed to be fun. It's better than not living. For a lot of you who are fun junkies that want to go out and spend money all the time, yeah, you better make money nonstop. You see, your life is a different type of a life that I'm describing. I wouldn't go out to a bar and drink 5 beers to get to where I want to be, you know what I'm saying? I'd go home, and if I were a drinker, and I'm not, I would drink a quart of beer and then walk to the bar and have 1 beer and sit there and go and get to where I want to be. You don't have to spend 5 times, $30, $6 a beer. You could spend $5, 1 beer, and then a quart. So, I mean, there's lots of ways of cutting back. Coffee, I've been making my own coffee for about 35, 40 years now. 35 years. As opposed to Starbucks, which will cost you a tremendous amount more money. Oh, thank you. You've been making big strides in your denigrating behavior, psycho behavior. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I plan on doing, Asian Dan. Yeah. I don't collect welfare, no. I don't collect any social services personally. I never really had to. I've always managed my money really well. But for those of you who have a hard time with student loans, we want to buy up all the student loans in one fell swoop when we build the infrastructure bank and have you pay toward the principal. Because right now you're paying toward the interest. And we'll have a much better plan for everybody. And the infrastructure bank will carry the note, so we'll make money on your student loans as opposed to the previous companies that's been ripping you off. But I want to completely put it all together into one single fund, the FAFSA fund, and make sure that the interest rate's no more than 4%. And it should be a fixed interest rate. And the money you put into the amount you owe will a lot of it will go to the principal, more than you're getting now toward the principal. Because right now you have to pay 30, 40 years back and you're still not completely rid of your student loan. Credit cards, are going to be out there. They shouldn't be illegal because they give people a lot of leeway. I like the concept of credit in general, but it's been abused. So if you start to get out of credit yourself, start with one card and cut it up or stick it in a lock box and don't use it. And now with the RFID chipping of the cards, you have to almost put your cards behind if you don't want to be tracked or fobbed. So they're creating all kinds of new scams with credit, and I don't believe our future is based on credit. Whereas the elitists would think otherwise. They would think that we'd have to keep borrowing money and they're going to have a moneyless society, but it'll be a credit moneyless society where everything's digital and you'll have your chips installed in your fingers or your hands and people will fob you as you walk by and you'll be deducted money from and you'll walk around with no money because you won't know you have no money because there's no transparency. I mean, it's paperless. They may be completely without any transparency on your account. You may just be a complete physical, clipped, chipped, and ready to go farm animal. Bah! Sheeple. All chipped and vaccinated and ready to go with all your money in your finger. Well, I have $20,000 in my finger here. You just have to withdraw it. Sir, I'm sorry, but there's been an error. The RFID chip is not reading properly. You'll have to go to the RFID chip repair center, and that's down the way 3 miles over to the right. David, I was trying to get $250 from an ATM at 4 a.m. What happened to you, Dave Rat? Well, I'd like to see limits at the slot machines. I mean, you see $10 buttons now at slot machines. Every time they hit the button, it's $10. There's a casino in my area that has a pretty amazing salad bar. And we go there just to eat the salad bar because it's that good. But we see these Asians specifically. There's some rich white people too, but there's Asians specifically from China, mainland China, who've been coming over to our country with tons of profit from exploiting people over there. And they are literally, I saw this one guy in a zoot suit one day, and he was hitting three $5 buttons at the same time. And I did see a couple of white landowners sitting there proudly hitting the $10 buttons last time I was in there and looking around to see if people noticed them. It's like a head trip. They want to just dump their money into the casino and get noticed. It's like, oh, look at me. It's our nation gone awry. It's keeping up with the Joneses on steroids. So these people are addicted to gambling. And they come over here and they want to be seen. It's actually a visual thing for them. It's like, oh, look at me. I'm at the casino. I'm spending big bucks. Like anyone really cares. And these are the people that usually lose tons of money and just keep playing the game of, oh, I won that one time. And then they lose 5,000. Oh, but I won that 2,000, and they lose another 5,000. I remember when I was really lucky, and then they lose another 5,000. And they say that gambling is the worst addiction because there is no limit. You'll take from your family when you gamble. Heroin, at least you're strung out on a couch, overdosed. Digital slot machines are boring. Yeah, it used to be great to hear change. I agree. Now they've got a lot of like funny little bells and whistles that go off when freeze. So speaking of buffets, we are offering an incredible buffet at the White House. And guest on, there you go. We are hoping to put an all-day buffet together for $14.95. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Same price. And we'll offer new things at dinner time that we wouldn't see at lunch. Same with breakfast. Yeah. So, you know, having a large buffet style thing where we can bring revenue into the White House will be good. Because if we don't bring revenue into the White House, you, the taxpayers, have to pay for the White House. And that's not exactly what we're talking about when we talk about hybrid capitalism. So we want to get the government to get a return on investment with our idea. And it's a solid idea, really. Government's return on investment will keep our nation rolling without having to rest on your taxes. So we have a book at our website at the store for 99 cents. It's available on Kindle. And we are the place that offers the $400 per U.S. adult. With your vote and a win, I will deliver this plan to the American people. No, I don't do free salad bars anymore. They're gone. The cheapest salad bar around is about $5. That includes a really good meat selection as well. We're in a mecca for, it's like an amazing, the best salad bars around, and casinos around too, with the best deals. You go across the country in the Midwest, you don't see these kinds of deals. But yeah, we have some really good salad bars in our area. But generally now you're talking about $24.99 for a Friday or Saturday night at any one of the casinos for dinner. And that's way up from what it used to be. All right. We do. I treat Sarah at all-you-can-eat Chinese restaurants. We went to one that was pretty bad about 3 weeks ago. It was not in our area, and they looked good on the outside, but when you got the food, it tasted weird. Yeah, Sarah said the crab legs tasted really, really weird, like sewage. Yeah. And it became a concern that many of these Chinese restaurants are shipping directly from China. And they're allowed to bring their Chinese chicken meat into our country now. So you're eating a GMO buffet, pretty much. And it's a complete and utter... It's not what Chinese buffets used to be. I can see a downgrade going on. We have a really nice Chinese buffet in our area, and it's better than the one I went to. There's a tranny on. I don't need to worry about trannies. Yeah, like I said, we don't care what your sexuality is. You can choose whatever you like. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. No income tax law. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, good. Thanks. Coming from Drag King. Dave, in honor of the VP debate, let Sarah lead out the show. What? I don't understand what you're talking about. The Gary Johnson vapor discussion really is kind of nonsensical. Oh, yeah, there's no income tax law, yeah. That sounds like a good 2-hour and 26-minute movie we've got laid up. Yeah. No, unlike Richard Pryor, I would not date a ladyboy. Richard Pryor was a... Yeah. Richard Pryor had an affair with a tranny before he left this earth. Here's an explosive flashback. Richard Pryor admitted to being with a tranny. No, I don't want to be a politician. Not at all. I would rather not be a politician. I just want to help the country. It's that simple. I got it together, man. This whole plan is breaking through grounds. I would have been in the mainstream media 5 years ago if they hadn't censored me. Oh yeah, we would have had many of our issues discussed publicly. Instead, Trump stole 10 of our ideas, maybe even more. You have no idea. Yeah, I purge you because it's funny. There, see? It's fun. Yeah, I like to purge you. God. Hey, we don't allow talking about black people or trannies in a negative way. Explosive flashback. Richard Pryor admitted to having a gay affair. This is from MediaTakeout.com. Yeah, one evening I was at the Candy Store Club in Hollywood, he says. I spotted her standing beside the dance floor. She told me her name was Mitrasha. And she was beautiful. And I'll do it in Richard Pryor's voice. And she was beautiful, exotic, and her name a dead ringer for a young Josephine Baker. After a night of no, I couldn't do Richard Pryor's voice. All I can do is Richard Pryor being a white guy. After a night of drinking, flirting, kissing, dancing, I took my Trasha home, where we did cocaine and got down to business. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, more like Josephine Baker. So you're talking about people using their media exposure to, make sure that you know the truth behind transsexuals, coming from Richard Pryor. Nobody pays for any of our shows. Our shows are completely nonprofit. We're not an official nonprofit show, but we don't really make a dime on this. There is no profit here. Okay? We could be nonprofit. I stay in the crying game, and it makes me I feel terrible for all those people. I mean, seriously, why is every one of our shows about gayness? What is the problem here? We are all wasting our lives talking about sexuality when it doesn't occupy more than maybe 1% of your body weight. Or in my case, about 3%. But no, seriously. Let's talk about something else. The ocean, the pollution. What I'm going to do with Fukushima. Because this endless discussion about transgenderism is really disturbing. Let's see, I've got something in my fun trick, little bag of tricks. Let's talk about Chelsea Manning. Now, the government paid for Chelsea Manning's transgender operation. And, Fukushima, sorry. I don't know. All they talk about is transsexuality here. Yeah. Let's just change the dimension of the show a little bit. I mean, surely we've got to bring on a different type of perspective. Yows. There you go. Yows. Okay. We got this problem now. We got the people wanting to pitch their name and wanting to be known in their transgender community. They're putting their names out there real fast. Now it's a challenge for me to cut that down while I keep guest chat open. Welcome to my living hell. They're back again. You see the bulletin boards that have all these trannies and these homosexual men trying to hook up are going wild because somebody put our show out there. Agent Smith, so you're simply trying to control the outcome in the Matrix, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, you can simply refresh all you want. We're now in the world of degradation. All right, it's coming in too fast. I'm going to have to shut it down. It's simply that the earth is being poisoned. And you're seeing the pollution of this beautiful earth in so many different ways. It's simply not what you think it should be. And you think that we should have a cleaner world. Well, why haven't they cleaned up Fukushima? Because they simply want it to get worse and want the entire ocean to die. They want the apocalypse, Mr. Anderson. They want it now. They want what they want, and they want it now. Let me show you what I want to do with Fukushima. You're looking at a fast breeder reactor that could reduce 97% of the radioactive water and irradiated material that they call corium. This ability to control the weather is exactly what we need. The corium, I should say. The inability of our abilities is currently unable to get rid of 97% of the radioactive material. Yes. And that's why you are saying that we're supposed to build a wall around the Fukushima reactor vessels. Well, we can certainly build a bridge or a jetty, and then we can sink a ship. No, I've been simply attacked with homosexuals all night long going to Dover. They come in here. We sink a ship in the outside of the Fukushima Bay region, locking the bay in and preventing the water runoff. And we can also, I must say, rebuild the outside sector of this particular. Let's take a look at this. The mountain itself can be created using dirt that we build a U-shaped rediverter area all around the bay. So it protects any runoff from the Mount Fukushima area, which is at about a 5% grade going into the bay, pushing all this corium, which is soaking in the ground from the melted down reactor vessels, pushing it right into the beautiful Pacific Ocean. So, now, we've got Potato Girl, and she's protecting Dave. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you, Miss Potato Girl. A 2017 Toyota Prius Prime is a high-tech pretend Tesla that gets incredible mileage. Really? Chatroom Celebrity has our link for tomorrow night's Technology Thursday. Fantastic. So, yeah, where's Mr. Potato Head? Well, she likes hanging out here. I give her all the loving she needs. I just go online and she likes to watch. Yeah, that looks like a good movie. There's no income tax law. Tell that to Wesley Snipes. Yes. So, you're asking yourself, why don't they simply do what Davis says? Why don't we simply cap the plug from Fukushima? Because they don't want the plug capped. They want us to die. They want the ocean to evaporate. They want the death of the planet. Who are they? Well, they are the ones that want to own the planet. They really simply want an ecological reset of the ecosystem. They want the death of the planet. And they want to plug it. They don't want you on it. So as you sit here, and you watch this seemingly endless destruction of Mother Earth, and you say, I don't want that for my family. I don't want that. I don't want my children getting tumors, and I don't want to have an increased medical bill because they're eating GMO food that causes tumors in laboratory animals. I don't want my children to die. But these people, these globalists, they want your children gone. They want you sterilized. Now you're getting the picture. That's the scary part. Once you realize that you're in the Matrix, Mr. Anderson. But I've realized this and I accept it. I simply want to make it better. I want to modify the government by offering good, logical advice as opposed to mindless greed. We don't need to depopulate the earth. The reality is, everybody on this planet if it was all distributed properly, it could have 15 acres per person. The numbers speak for themselves. Going to Dover. We're about done with you here. Yeah, I'm just going to mute you for now. Learn to speak in the room with some respect. Okay? I'll tell you, I got no respect. Hurricane and tornado control device. Oh, great. Scissor Fight discovers the very thing they're using to create Matthew right now. Isn't that amazing? That is phenomenal. A method is disclosed for affecting the formation and/or direction of a low atmospheric weather system. Audio generators are positioned to project sound waves toward a peripheral area of a weather system. The sound waves are generated at a frequency to affect the formation of the weather system in a manner to disrupt, enhance, or direct the formation. The sound waves can also be projected in a manner to cause the system produce rain. Wow, you just landed a fantastic red herring. The very thing, this is the smoking gun, is what this is. Yes. And I hope it means something to some of you, because it really is what they've been doing. They're manufacturing hurricanes and earthquakes, and I seriously would not doubt that the Haitian earthquake many years ago was caused by their ability. Yeah, you guessed it. You heard me say it. We're talking genocide. I heard the hurricane in Florida could murder hundreds, Potato Girl. I know. And then you have a link for a PDF file. Oh, more. Oh, more patents. Excellent. You found them. You're amazing, Scissor Fight. All right. Here we go. This is how they do it. A method is disclosed for affecting the formation and/or direction of the low atmospheric weather system. Audio generators are positioned to project sound waves toward a peripheral area of a weather system. The sound waves are generated at a frequency to affect the formation of the weather system in a manner to disrupt, enhance, or direct the formation. The sound waves can also be projected in manner to cause the system produce rain. More of the same, yeah. So look at that. Ding, 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 ding. There it is. That's how they're doing it. Ding, 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 ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. That's how they're doing. That there's the science behind it. So them there super elite people are trying to just dump weather on you and get rid of y'all down in the South. This is how they do it, everybody. Check it out. If you're too stupid to understand this, just rest assured this is about the worst thing they could do, causing death. I predicted that Sandy Hook was caused by Hurricane Sandy was caused by this. Yeah, totally. I was a guy who produced a video that was completely censored on YouTube about how it would made a left turn. They totally censored my video. Oh yeah, right before the 2012 election, censorship really kicked in for us. We've been censored for fully censored for about 5 or 6 years of the 8 years. We may not have been fully censored at first. Alrighty. Now you know what's going on. Completely censored country that claims to be free and democratic. Couldn't be worse if you were living in Fantasyland at Disneyland. Yeah, you got Dumbo over there and... Okay, here's a Toyota Prius. It's a really pretty car and a perfect car to put here on the screen. Wow, that's a really nice looking car, man. I'm impressed. Toyota. The 2017 Toyota Prius is a high-tech pretend Tesla that gets incredible mileage. What's incredible mileage? It's not a pure electric car. It's a hybrid, of course. This one's a plug-in hybrid. Toyota has given it an 8.8 kilowatt-hour battery, twice the size of the regular Prius. So this can go a whole 25 miles on a full electric... Oh, really? So the regular Prius only goes 15 miles on a full charge? That sucks. I heard that the Nissan Leaf goes 60 miles, but they're not selling very well like they expected. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow. That'll be good. Technology Thursday. Whoa, guest on. MIT thinks furry wetsuits could keep divers even warmer. The beaver-inspired wetsuit surfer. Wow, that's a cool one. Isn't it amazing? No guess? Oh, really? Okay. So you want them to win in this battle? It looks like a giant condom. But in reality, this beaver-inspired wetsuit is the works. It's in the works. Oh, God. Rubber-haired lined wetsuits may help keep surfers warm, dude. Totally. Totally. Can you imagine, like, totally being in the tube there? Totally tubular. Yeah, totally. Like landing on the shore of the hurricane and totally being in the total fur, like, wetsuit. Ha, 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 brah. Brah. For sure. Get soap-headed. All right, so we've got technology for tomorrow, and tonight we've got people who just want to hang out and talk. Now, hopefully we won't be hit by this 4chan attack again. They probably have a sentinel sitting there going, hey, just tell us when you're going to attack, and we'll just attack Dave because it's fun to do. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, for sure. Party on. All right, so our youth is getting dumber and dumber, and we got to stop this. The wasted lives of the youth in America, and many of them are suffering. You know, they say by 2032, 85% of your children are children. I don't have any kids, at least I know of. Our children will have ADHD or autism. 85% by 2032. In the year 2032, you may have a boy or girl with problems. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, it's a total nightmare. One of my neighbors, and I won't say where, moved into our area, and they've got a kid that they're dealing with. Hello, from China. They're dealing with a child who has some severe disabilities. And he's one of these kids that, you know, you can't talk. He can't communicate. All he does is go, all day long. Now, can you imagine the burden a family has to put up with to deal with that? I don't know if any of you could even put yourself in that headspace. A lifetime of dealing with that. I feel bad for him. I really do. Yeah. But they're dealing with it. There's a lot of support out there in terms of healthcare costs, but we're not going to be able to bear the burden of that. Medicare, Medicaid funds are drying up. Now, an ex-Tesla engineer accuses the company of age discrimination. A former materials engineer sued the company in California for federal courts on Friday, alleging he was unlawfully fired because of his age after a series of unfair criticisms and comments about his age. Thomas Flessner, age 69, was one-time contract employee who was taken on full-time in Tesla's Fremont, California facility. Flessner says 2 of his 3 supervisors made negative comments about his age. This ageism has got to stop. Yeah, that's pretty serious. He wants to make money at 69. He wants to keep working at 69. What a scumbag. What an incredibly greedy scumbag. Wants to keep his job. Retire out, man. It's time. Jeez. Eric. Who is Eric? Oh, Eric, are you here? Eric Trump is here, everybody. Let's give him a round of applause. Eric, congratulations. You've done an amazing job. How often do you actually go hunting for extremely endangered species? Yeah, we want to know. Inquiring minds want to know how often you actually kill innocent leopards in the wild. Just curious. I know he's been funneling my ideas to his dad. I got that disinformation. We're all on that. We actually have proof of it. We got a little lawsuit possibility if he keeps it up. Yeah. But you know, in a way, I feel honored. I can't help but feel honored by that. You know, I mean, he sees this, these ideas are great, and there's something that people want to actually look at. So, there we go. Okay, got it. So we got a really big link library about Trump, and I'm going to give you the link to it. If you're still undecided as to whether you're going to write my name in the upcoming election, and you just you're kind of on the fence, I've got this link library to show you all the dirt we've got on Trump, and it's pretty extensive. We've got more dirt on Hillary Clinton. We got dirt on Clinton too. Right here. Both of those are really good links. Anyway, Donald Trump's agency says they violated immigration rules according to one of his former models. So he's clearly, it says one thing about immigration, does another. Your hunts have been good? Really? In fact, this is helping the wildlife? Oh, really? Well, you'll have to explain that to me. Your allowance in the week is more than you made in your life, David? I know, and I don't give a crap, Eric. I'm not materialistic. That's why people like me. I'm not a greed pig. You know, your dad's pretty greedy. If you follow in his footsteps, you're probably pretty greedy too. They don't want a greedy guy to be president because it's a national security risk, Eric. Especially. You got some problems there, man. Because your dad's liabilities, the $650 million that he's borrowed to foreign countries like Deutsche Bank, he owes $250 million? That's a liability. Deutsche Bank's got a really bad record. Now, the Christie administration gave your dad a $30 million tax break. That's just one of the little backdoor deals you put together. Trump's companies have at least $650 million in debt. That's another one we can talk about. Trump took $160 million from George Soros. Oh, you didn't want to talk about that, Eric? Oh, I'm sorry. Celebrity Chatter, guest 819, Eric Trump. Nice to see you're in. How about some music? Let's get some anti-Hillary music in here in honor of Eric's presence. Because I'm not a big Hillary fan. Trust me on that. Trust me, Eric. Trust me. Seriously. You can't use that word publicly. People don't get it. Let's show you a little bit of the Clinton experience. Let's start with the beginning, shall we?
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
That was the best one of all, I think. Yeah, that was the top of the line. And then from there, we could just go from there. Let's just sit around and talk about Trump and then rag on Hillary in video. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? So if Ivanka wasn't your sister, you suppose you wouldn't be dating her? That's a play on words about your dad. I will tell you one thing, Eric. Your family is incredibly interesting. Very interesting family. Yeah, and I know not to discredit you or your sister or your family or your dad. You definitely have a unique family. I mean, it's kind of a compliment. Okay, let's see what we got. Here's a Monsanto lobbyist who lobbies people like Hillary, and obviously they're going to lobby Donald because they support Monsanto. But this is what he said when he was confronted with his tests on his products. Watch this.
You can drink a whole quart of it and it won't hurt you.
You want to drink some? We have some here.
I'd be happy to, actually. But not really, but
Not really?
I know it wouldn't hurt me.
If you say so, I have some glyphosate.
No, I'm not stupid.
Okay, so you.
No, but I know
so it's dangerous,
right? No, people try to commit suicide with it and fail fairly regularly.
Tell the truth.
It's not dangerous to humans. No, it's not.
So are you ready to drink one glass of
No,
glyphosate?
I'm not an idiot. Interview me about golden rice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, then it's finished. Then the interview is finished.
That's a good way to solve things.
Yeah.
He wouldn't drink the very thing he said is perfectly safe. Talk about a two-faced liar. These people. Okay, so this is an important link here. You just saw the one about George Soros supporting Trump. You can get all these links at this link library. Check it out while it's still running. The Saudi prince begs American voters not to vote for Trump. Saudi prince begs American voters. The U.S. could have a president who wants to ban Muslims from entering the country. Now that means that they're not going to be real happy with Trump if he were to become president. They look like John, yeah. Let's see, we got a few more links here. That's just page 2. I was just wandering through the link library. Donald Trump says he would go many steps further than waterboarding. And he also made statements that he would actually kill the family of suspected terrorists. And Rolling Stone had to ask Donald to stop playing their songs. He wouldn't pay them a royalty fee. Trump's ties to various crime families in New York, all that's enumerated. Melania doing what she as a woman wanted to do to make money. Can't blame her, really. You know, posing naked. Is that the kind of woman you want to be the first lady? I don't know. Roy Cohn, family friend. The most troubling link you'll ever read. How much do you really know about Trump? Well, that link is done. That whole thing was run against Trump by the Republicans, and they pulled the site Trump Questions. So I'm going to delete this bookmark. Yes. Amazing. I have to delete the bookmark. We found this out last night. And, of course, the copter crash that killed 3 casino aides of Trump in 1989. This will take you to the New York Times link. And Melania posed nude many times. I'll be glad to send you the link. Man, look at that. Okay. Let's do that. You can just check the link out yourself. No, she never posed nude. Never. Never. She'd never do that. It's not photoshopped. It's for real. She really did. Dude, seriously. You're that out of it. You haven't even checked our link library, man. Educate yourself, folks, about Trump before you make that vote. It could be the worst thing you could ever do in our country. Educate yourself about Hillary before you make that vote. It could be the worst vote in the history of this country. Believe me, voting for George W. or voting for Barack Obama were the worst votes over the past 16 years. You could continue to make big mistakes. All right. It's interesting to note that the copter crash that killed three of his aides, his top aides, who were going to testify in his court case, the bankruptcy case, where my family lost a lot of money on Resorts International stock. Yeah. That was the case where Donald actually told the press that this is great press when those 3 men died. This is great press. That was his big announcement. Unbelievable. Let alone, why were they dying? Was there foul play? Was there suspicious circumstances? His dad was arrested in 1927 at a Ku Klux Klan brawl with police. His father was a Ku Klux Klan member, according to this article. Trump telling black people to be removed from a rally that he was at in the primaries. I mean, this whole site is just full of stuff. Trump's cozy relationship with the liberal media. That's why he's an establishment character. They kicked other black people out of a rally here, and this one. These links are really, really good. Yeah. I am up late. Yeah, we run the show all the way to 9:30, and then we do a show all the way to 2 in the morning every night. If you're an insomniac, it's a great show just to watch new stories, and then we keep throwing new stuff at you. Here's the YouTube video of Trump sons killing a Triceratops.
You might have seen the Donald Trump kids.
Okay, and they're very upset. Okay, there is no Triceratops. Yeah, I'm not going to play anything from Mark Dice. He's a Trump supporter and an obvious shill of the Alex Jones network. Sorry. Yeah, we don't run shill videos here. We try not to. No, we won't be on camera till 2 a.m. I will be on audio mic only. What I do at 9:30 is I take my shirt off. I put, an undershirt on. I get comfortable. And I watch Netflix and chill with Sarah. And I come in and do the show. I watch the videos that you guys are watching intermittently. And then I communicate with people. And then I'll go on mic. So I'll talk over it. And then we do a little video show around 12 midnight. Where we do a lot of fun stuff. I try to mix up some music that mostly Scissor Fight has given us some great music we add to the mix, just to kind of spice things up at the 12 o'clock hour. A federal judge, according to the oathkeepers.org, a federal judge is covering or is helping Clinton cover up crimes. Wow, that's a big allegation. This is the one that really pisses me off because Trump is promising harsh media criticism of him will be illegal if he's president. Now, I don't know anybody who could ever violate the First Amendment more than Trump in assessing the problem of media criticism and making it illegal. That's a total violation of the First Amendment. Okay, we're done with that. You know where to get the links when and if you want. This federal judge has rejected a conservative group's lawsuit demanding the release of drafts of a criminal indictment of Hillary Clinton prosecutors prepared but never issued during the Whitewater investigation in the 90s. Oh, that's an interesting fact about Hillary. All of the information that the Whitewater story that Ken Starr put together. What's wrong with your dad, 513? Yeah. I had no idea he decorated his house with shackles. That's fascinating. Oh, 513, are you now Eric Trump? Oh, I didn't. Okay. Let's say a little prayer for you and your dad after you kill those exotic animals. Okay. Grace said to tell you hello. Hi, Grace. I don't know anybody by Grace. I know no one by Grace. I've had Graces in my life, but no one that I know today. Batman cries during a eulogy at Townville funeral. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, okay. Casper the Ghost signing off.
Once again, I want to show you the Ferrell family.
Okay, another 4-minute video from the works of the amazing PK. Eric, I'm going to run... Huh? I'm going to... What? Hey, guys, don't threaten Eric, please. Yeah, Eric's just trying to help his dad out. I mean, wouldn't you help your dad out? Think about it. If your dad was running for president, wouldn't you do everything you could to help protect your dad? In defense of you, Eric, I understand where you're coming from. I love my dad very, very much, and in no way do I want to disparage you or your family or Donald, other than to say he doesn't deserve to be president. Now, I'm not working for the Clinton Foundation, but I got to tell you, Hillary and Bill have 114 dead people to their background check. And I'm not saying they did it, but we're going to play that video again tonight, later in the evening, toward the end of our show. which will blow your mind. 114, and this guy does a great job of listing every single person that's mysteriously dead that knew the Clintons. Yeah. That a Hall case, what's your view? You know, Oma, I haven't given it a lot of thought. Okay. Yeah, exactly what Hall case are you talking about? Let's start there, okay? Thanks. I don't think Sarah even knows who Carlos Danger is. Are you talking about the username for Anthony Weiner? Eric, what did you say? You and your daddy would be dating Ivanka if she wasn't our
Well, here it
family?
is. It won't be long now, folks. 13th of January 2017.
Yeah, Truth Bomb is going to take care of that one. Wow. Another good video from PK. PK. Yeah. The Truth Bomb eats Boston propaganda. Yeah. Hall & Oates case. Oh, I didn't know there was a Hall & Oates case. The 6-year-old child, Jacob Hall. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Wow. Okay, superhero-themed funeral honors Jacob Hall, a 6-year-old fatally shot for the school shooting victim, Jacob Hall. Okay. This is the story here. Let's take a look. Mourners dressed as superheroes assembled Wednesday for the funeral of Jacob Hall, the 6-year-old boy fatally injured when a teenage shooter allegedly opened fire at a South Carolina elementary school on September 28th. You know, mourners are dressed as the Avengers, Superman, Batman. That's pretty interesting. Well, we're going to talk about that when we do the show tonight with PK. He's going to give us his take. A lot of people are concerned that these things are not actual real events. Now, did you have any specific information about Jacob that you want to share? Eric, do you mind? Stop showing your wealth off.
Dave, do you have guns in your house? I'm not privy to talk about my hardware.
Dave, you want to get major support? Come down there after Matthew. I'm not going to go down there and take advantage of a destroyed Florida coastline to promote myself. That's just ridiculous. Well, if I win, I've got to win for you to get the $400 per U.S. citizen. Yeah, so we can't really process that, Oma, until we actually take a look at the whole story. I did watch Longmire on Netflix. Yeah, it's a great show. That guy who plays the sheriff is so believable. And the ending was really ripped. It was a rip right out of the page of history with that conflict between the Native Americans and the rituals and all of the different things involved in that, along with the what's going down with the sheriff. I was left in a state of absolute anxiety at the end of that Longmire extension. So I haven't seen the stuff that you guys are watching now. I'm still, yeah, he's an awesome actor. I'm still kind of catching up. I have some great links to positive and uplifting news. Well, yes, we have the newest information on Richard Simmons. Would you like to hear about it? You are very popular. $1,400 a month is not what we're offering. We're offering $400. Can you not read? Okay. You know, I just reached the end of my rope for this show. My zip cord was just pulled, and I'm going to have to just close down because that's all I got. That's all I got. Yeah. See how fast a show goes? It's amazing. I don't care what you spend your $400 on. I'm here to help local economies, meaning your economy. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more local than your economy. Nubius, a guy I know in my area who comes in the show, said that he'd rather help local economies. And I wrote him back, and I told the room a few hours ago, an hour and 15.2 seconds ago. I said, yeah, your economy is as local as it gets, man. Scary evidence. Bill Clinton says Hillary Clinton's strange behavior is like a demon. We ran that story as well. Yes, Trump stole more than 10 of my ideas. You want to know which ones he stole? Sure. I'll be glad to tell you. Yeah. I'm excited because I didn't think I could have such an important person steal my ideas, but he really did. Yeah, seems like such a clever guy, doesn't he? There it is. Okay, Fester, the ideas taken are beep, 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 beep. We have failure. Tomorrow will be Technology Thursday, where we will troubleshoot any operations currently running on our show. Okay, we'll hold that thought for a little later. Wow. We've got layering effects going on. Yeah, everything's beautiful though. You know, I don't play much. I play slots. I'd use penny slots. Yeah, I play penny slots. I only bet a penny when I bet. I would play penny keno if we had it in our area. They have 25-cent keno here. Penny keno is kind of fun. I used to play that in Vegas when I went to Vegas with my mom and dad when I was younger. Yeah. My dad can pay the monthly voter blackmail. No, your dad can't afford to pay his own rent. Your dad's in debt for $2.6 billion. He can't come up with $400 billion. That's what this is going to be financed with. Well, my great haircut is financed by me and my fingers. You see, I learned a certain technique when analyzing the telemetry needed to grab scissors. You can actually hold your hair up and cut them. System overloaded. Disengage. Reboot. Hi, I'm David Sponheim. I'm running for president. There's a rumor that I'm a robot on Reddit. Totally untrue. Right on, man. I do my own haircuts. I've saved $8,000 I put into a car from the money I saved from my haircuts. Let me show you. Not at all. No, I'm totally sane. Yes. It takes a very sane person to save their pennies like I did, and I saved up $7,500 in 2006, 10 years ago. And I bought myself a car. Now, I wanted the XL1, the one that gets 300 miles per gallon. But that's a $1.5 million car. So I didn't have $1.5 million saved up. But I did manage to buy a car that was $25,000 new. I bought it for $7,500. And that car is still my car. It's my dream car. In 2000, I saw this commercial for the Honda Insight, and my dad said to me, "Dave, what do you think about that car?" And I said, "Dad, I love that car. That is my dream car." So I bought one, and then I bought another one for Sarah a couple years ago. It's not ugly. You are hereby purged. Well, I would go to town too, Sam as Dad, but you know, calling me a lizard mouth is not an exactly a good thing to say. I will definitely take them out. No, I never ever saw Wally George in person. I just saw one of his shows because I met the marijuana legalization guy that he had on one of his shows. The day he was on the Wally George show, he came over to the dorms, actually the co-op over at UCLA, and was talking to a bunch of people, and I met this guy who was going to be on the Wally George show, so I watched one episode of the Wally George show. I paid my car. I paid my car for my own self. I paid my car. So for $7,500, I got a $25,000 car. And I put about $10,000 into it total because I bought a new battery pack for it about a year and a half ago. All right, this is a real weird one. You know there's something wrong with our healthcare system when it costs extra to hold your newborn baby. Check this out. This woman was charged $39 for skin-to-skin aftercare with her baby. $39. Oh my God. That is insane. Yeah, that's just to be with your baby. That's an expense that the hospital incurred when you had to hold your baby. Unbelievable. Wow. Talk about a ripoff. I would have loved to... No, I am not a Mason. I will not join any secret societies. I am not in any way paid by any group at all. Period. Welcome to my world. Oh, Ed, are you doing a video about your world? Cool. Let's see what he had to say. Pretty cool opener.
Welcome to my world.
Welcome to my world.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Welcome to my world.
Ed, you're making progress, man. You know, it had a theme to it. That was good. I'm on to Alex Jones. I know who's paying his bills. I know all about Skunk Works Productions.
And I'll tell you, the very same people that are running Skunk Works are also running the Bilderberg Group and paying for the very same person who's using that voice. The same guy that's warning you about your being on the red list or the blue list. It's the Bilderberg Group, but it's more than that. It's the Venetian royalty.
Did you hear that drunk session where he was like totally off? Man. No, I'm going to let Doobster take as much time as he wants. I talked to him about the idea of adding a sidecar to it. So I don't want to in any way lay any trip on him. And he's just getting back from his wonderful honeymoon, man. It's kind of cool to know that a person made... Hot damn. It's kind of it's good to know that this guy made all that wonderful time with his wife important to them. That's kind of cool. You know, they went on like a 22-day vacation on a cruise. I thought he's just take all the time he wants. And he's got his own timetable there. Pence looks like Race Bannon from Johnny Quest. You're right. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I was wondering about that. Pence looks so pensive that I couldn't tell. But Johnny Quest, Race Bannon, has images. He is essentially Johnny Quest. Race Bannon. Dun, 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 dun. Let's get a picture of Pence in here. Race Bannon. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Wow. Yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right. I wonder where Raji is. He was always a favorite character of mine. Raji. Yes. You know, the Middle Eastern or supposed character that in the show? It sure looks alike, yeah. Haji, excuse me. Was it Haji? Thank you. I was mispronouncing it. Haji. For obvious reasons, Haji has been removed from the search for political correctness reasons. Oh no, here he is. Here's Johnny Quest with Haji. Yes. Oh my God, I look like Johnny Quest. Eric Trump's dad for $1,400 a month. What? Nah. Oh come on, Eric. Stop talking about your dad offering $1,400. Let's do the Hillary hand comparison. That's always fun. Hey, I am 100% sure. No, I was kidding, Old Scratch. It's a joke. God, man. David, you look like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. Beavis. Let's take a look. Hold on, let me remove my cars. There's Beavis. You're right. I look exactly like this guy. Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. Good point. I'm glad we're wasting our time on Wasteful Wednesday appropriately. My car is not. It gets 60 miles per gallon, you Nimrod. You got nothing on my car, man. Let's take a look at my car. You can take a trip on my copter and be back in time for lunch. Let's see. You're right, I look just like this guy. God, you're amazing. yeah, you're right. How do you think I could possibly do a voice like that, you think? Yeah, I totally look like that guy from like Miami Vice, you know, like, yeah, CSI Miami, you know. You're right. I know. So this has been fun, man. I feel like I've touched base with everybody a little bit more than I usually do. We didn't talk too long about the first trimester abortion law I want to put out for a lot of you socially conservative people. I was accused of looking like Big Bird at one time. It was a pet name that people gave me. You've had the time of your life, really? Excellent, 472. Well, welcome to the show every night. We do this every night. We never fail. You know, I'm not allowed to actually put Big Bird on the screen for more than 23 seconds. Yeah. For that matter, anything on the screen for more than 23 seconds. Let's see if I look like him. Okay, I'm getting close. The computer will find that I am using Big Bird insignia within 3 seconds of this. I don't know. I think Big Bird is a bit of a stretch. I do look a lot like Beavis, though. Malfunction, malfunction. Defragmentation undergoing. So tomorrow we're going to be doing our discussion of technology and the prospect that Reddit believes that I'm a robot. Is that true? I have never ever been a part of the Illuminati, and I've never admitted it ever because I'm not part of it. You need a better GPU. What about my CPU? David, you remind me of a monkey. Well, there are some people that believe that I may be the living relic of Harambe, the silverback that was killed recently. Let us compare my face with Harambe. You take the lime and the coconut. Oh no, not again. No. Reboot, reboot. Reboot. You extended out 15 more minutes. Congratulations, audience. You are beating all the other audiences in the past. Normally, I drop out at 9:30. You've already kept me going for 15 minutes. Isn't that amazing? You should give yourself a pat on the back. Amazing. Fantastic. So let's see who won the debate, the VP debate. Well, aside from the fact that Cain kind of looks like Cain of Cain and Abel, and Pence looks pensive. I'm going to do the Hillary hand comparison. Hold on. I'm right. I think that it was an even draw in terms of the issues. Now, we will look at Harambe again and compare my features to Harambe. And then I will close with the Clinton hand discussion of Clinton being a clone or having a clone done of her. There it is. Okay. Now, some people are saying that I may very well be the living human connection to Harambe, the late Harambe, who was killed by a zookeeper simply for helping a little child who had accidentally gone over a 3.5-foot fence. Now, because dead gorillas don't speak, they aren't able to actually communicate, I will speak for Harambe. Are you ready? Here we go.
I am very pissed off that guy shot me. Extremely pissed off. I'm gonna kick his ass in the other world.
Sorry. Anyway, whatever. Was that fun? Okay, now we'll go into the clone discussion. Thank you. Hey, if you want to take a picture of my face, I think this is very flattering. This is one of my... They say if you smile, people can see it. It's kind of like the joy of life comes out. I think this is really a good indication of what I should feel like on a daily basis. Kind of happy. Whatever. There it is. You've waited for it long enough. Whew. Oh, come on. I told you not to do that. Do I ever do Paul Harvey's voice? We will find that out later tonight. Okay, here's the hand movement. They identified two hands of two different people. When Hillary had her meltdown on 9/11, no. Hillary had a meltdown on 9/11. She revealed a person that came out of Hillary's daughter's apartment with this look right here. This is the woman that was smiling 90 minutes later and touching the child with pneumonia. That she had pneumonia and she touched a child. Anyway, that was her hand, and they took a picture of it and they closed in on it. And they matched up against a previous picture they had from Clinton on the Iowa campaign trail. And they took the two hands and compared them. And it occurred to me that, yeah, maybe Hillary has an imposter, impersonator, an imitator that is essentially 30 pounds lighter. And that being the case, I thought, well, that's understandable. But she wouldn't have the same hand, of course. There'd be differences. And as we zoom in on the hand, we see that, as we line these up here, we see that the hand is strangely alike. Yeah. Let's hold that hand right there. And I'm going to take and show you the lines that are similar. Now, if these are two different hands, you can see from the scar that they are. One's smaller, more diminutive than the other. And that would be the hand of the woman who's 30 pounds lighter. And the right one is younger, too. But what's really interesting is the lines. The lines on the hands are almost identical. You can see the telltale sign of this line right here. You can see this line. And these are not, everyone doesn't have the same lines in this area. They're all different. It's like a footprint or a handprint or a fingerprint. But you can see the crisscrossing here, the crisscrossing there of the original, and the same crisscrossing here of the fake. So this, there's only one possible, well, there are actually two possible scenarios. One, they took a handprint and made a frubber hand to look like a real hand, which would make one believe that they're using frubber for robots. But she didn't seem like a robot. The other one is that over 20 years ago, they were developing the technology. They had already mastered the technology, I should say, of cloning. And they had developed the cloning technology, which could very well have been used over the past 20 years with Hillary. Chemtrails over Orange County. Wow. Okay. Chemtrails over Orange County. March 22nd. One hand wrinkly as hell. That's the older Hillary. That would cost a lot of money, Eric, if your dad wants to say that without any stoppages. Yeah. Okay, yeah, chemtrails. All right, so that's it for oh, yeah. I was born in the United States. I was born in Los Angeles, California, the city. My name's David Sponheim. I'm not a cop. I'm not in any way like that. You're lying.
You are saying I am Nigerian? That is absurd. Why would you say I am from Nigeria? What if I told you I have visited Lusaka, Zambia? Would you believe me?
No, I have never visited Lusaka, Zambia. Any other questions? No? Okay. You all know what you're in for. $400 per month per U.S. citizen if I get elected, so there's a lot at stake here. Your representation of me around the world is very greatly appreciated. Maybe your family who are U.S. citizens can benefit from the $400 per month per U.S. adult. But you've got to help me, people watching me around the world. You've got to help me bridge past the censorship that's been put in place. 8 years now. My country has completely shut me down, unable to get a message out beyond the blogs, beyond the internet. I'm going to be a zombie on Halloween, yeah. It's called Donald Rump. It will be my character. I just took the T down. I didn't think we needed the T anymore. So I created the character Donald Rump, and we'll be doing Donald Rump, an extreme parody of Donald Trump. No, your dad's not offering anything, buddy. You know that. And people can do the math. They know that $4,800 per year is pretty good money to have extra beyond what you already have. All right. Thank you so much for coming in. Gosh, it takes a lot to do this. As you know, I've battled through this entire show with kind of a general headache. And it started 2.5 hours ago. Just so you know. So I've been drinking a natural coffee to help tighten up my blood vessels in my head. But the headache started early on in the show tonight when these people started pushing their emails in our show, promoting their sex hookups with other gay men. How come you never bad talk? I'm telling you about the 114 people related to Hillary and Bill that have died. That's pretty much bad-mouthing Hillary, dude. Well, it wasn't my intention to come in here with a headache, but we had to fight through a thicket of incredible attacks just to get in here and to do this show normally.
Welcome to ZomboCom.
Welcome to ZomboCom. This is ZomboCom. Welcome to ZomboCom.
This is ZomboCom.
Hello
to ZomboCom.
ZomboCom.
You can do anything at ZomboCom. Anything.
That is really sick. Yeah, don't say nasty things here. You know that some of the people here are not able to understand what you're saying.
So you take the lime and the coconut and rub it all over.
So I had to battle through unbelievable crap. David, will you take inventory at Fort Knox? Yes. Consider an interview, a live stream C-SPAN reveal of the gold supply at Fort Knox once I become president. We're going to start the country off with just you gaining confidence in our currency and in the backing of our currency. Now, I realize that our currency is not backed by gold right now, ever since we left the Bretton Woods agreement. But we will be able to get our currency up to snuff as soon as we make some decisions about the Fed. So unlike Trump and Hillary, I will end the Fed. We'll also be getting money back from the World Bank. They owe us a lot. We have a lot stored there in gold. And we'll be revealing the Fort Knox supply of gold, which will further strengthen the dollar and make it look very buoyant well into the future. Isn't that great? I'm also considering another denomination, like a $3 bill. And that will be backed by a broad spectrum of gold, silver, oil, hydrogen, liquid hydrogen we could use. Yeah, and it will be covered. You'll be able to transfer that $3 bill for liquid hydrogen, gold, silver, or oil. Or something like that. I can't believe you wrote that. That's sick. We don't talk about Bob here, Ed. I'll make an exception for you here. Dave had to battle the limp wrists with a hickory switch half the night. I know. Tell me about it, Scissor Fight. And it was almost like an unbelievable barrage. You notice how they were coming in early? And now we've got guest chat, feeling pretty good. But it's almost like the taming of the shrew every time we do our show. So we're going to let you go now. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. Me, Sarah and I. We do enjoy the show, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, they're coming in from the 4chan network. And they're trying to shut us down. And I really believe that the person posting our name on the 4chan network is working for a bigger entity. Whether it's a competitor in the campaign or whether it's the government itself that just doesn't want a third-party honest president. Either way, somebody's doing it. I know that they're doing it. And you can even see them writing disinformation about me all night long. They do ruin it for the other guests, I agree. But, I don't have a problem with gayness. I just don't think that these people realize they're committing sexual harassment on a daily basis. There's laws, corporate laws against sexual harassment. The real fact is, folks, Trump is an example of all the wrongs in this country. The reason why our tax base is shrunk is people like Trump don't pay taxes. Nearly 20% of the large U.S. corporations that reported a profit on their financial statements in 2012 ended up paying exactly nothing.
It's not a yoga pose. It's actually shorthand for a complicated...
So we'll go into that right now, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for Thursday's Technology Thursday show. All right, take care.